Oh, have you fixed the chat, Dale?
It
And we still
wasn't-
got Steven Seagal.
It wasn't. It had nothing to do with me. It was purely YouTube. Whatever they did yesterday, just broke the connection between the streaming the chat data into the Streamlabs, and I don't know what that was about.
Mhm.
So the window just didn't work. So I was like, okay, can't do anything about that, sadly.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah, but
Let's
we
go.
got Steven.
we got Steven. Yeah, that's true. We got some great Steven Seagal picks. That was great. Anyway,
Yeah, I rewatched the stream and it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Your choices were great, by
Oh,
the
yeah.
way.
I like the one where he was in armor. He was like standing there, like, what the hell? Am I doing? Why am I looking like this?
There was one where I'm sure he was like eating something, like
Carrot.
looking at the video,
Yeah, carrot.
like you confused. Yeah, correct.
He was visiting a bunch of farmers in Russia or something, and they were handing him like watermelons.
Belarus, yeah.
I was like, what? He just starts munching on a carrot for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, well, at least he's eating healthy, right? So that's okay. That's good for Steven. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 197. This is What Does Positive Masculinity Look Like? Paging Dr. NerdLove, and this is from the YouTube channel Dr. NerdLove. This is a dating instructor. He's not an actual doctor. He just calls him that. That's totally fine. You can call yourself whatever you like. That's cool.
He's not a doctor. I'm like Dr. Pepper. He's a fake doctor, like Dr. Phil.
You can call on YouTube. You can call yourself whatever you like. It's totally fine. And,
I'm gonna call him Dr. Slut from now on.
Yeah,
for no
cool.
reason.
Bill Nye keeps calling himself the science guy, and he knows nothing about science.
Well, he's a mechanical engineer. You know what I mean? He has. It's always funny to think that he has a lower degree than Dolph Lundgren. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
I love thinking about that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
We are all doctors here, so this is Dr. NerdLove. He's in charge of the doctorate of NerdLove. What are your guys' doctorates? I have a doctorate in gamer supremacy. What's yours?
I thought you were going to be a
doctorate
doctor in like New Vegas or
Sadly
something.
alone.
I have a minor in interpretive dance and serial killer.
Oh, God.
I have a doctorate in delaying my scripts indefinitely.
Doctorate. You are a master's. You have a master's certificate of procrastination with a specialty in time wasting.
I
Oh.
have a master's degree in Seagalism.
He's got
Oh,
a black
dear.
belt in
Oh, yeah.
Seagal.
I've got a black belt and a beer gut. That's all I need.
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
What's the word for like fake martial arts? Like there's like a term.
Bullshido.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yes.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bushido is what you learn in a Mac dojo.
Hey man, my name's Steven Seagal. I got a black belt in Bullshido. You know what I mean? Like, we got to do something about this people in the government, man. They're all like, man, you know what I mean? They're not real zen with that shit, you know?
Ever since they
I
kicked
still-
me out of SNL, I just can't forgive them.
I'm gonna take you to the blood bank, doctor.
To get the bag, blood bag.
You ever
I'm
notice how
stealing all your birthdays.
there's Steven Seagal who's like trying to be Zen or giving that soft voice, but you have like Keanu Reeves who's just Zen. He's just always that way.
Oh God, a film where Steven Seagal faces off against Keanu Reeves. Oh dear,
Oh.
the acting masterclass.
Oh no. I just combined the action films of Steven Seagal and like John Wick, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna work.
He's
Steven
gonna be the
Seagal
villain
versus
of
John Wick.
the John Wick 4.
Man, I'm not John Wick, but I gotta take a break and sit down real quick. You know what I'm saying, man?
But
Dude,
Steven
those
Seagal
soft
won't
shit.
actually move. He doesn't need to move. He just
He's
what is
just
it?
gonna be sitting
He
down
loads
the
his
entire
arms. He's like what was it, Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, just sat in the darkness because he's that fat and overweight he can't move.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true. Except Marlon Brando and Francis were smart enough to not have him actually fight. You know,
Yeah.
he actually did shoot around him
Alright.
pretty well. He doesn't actually look as fat as he was. That's the crazy
he,
thing.
Yeah.
He looks
Before
less
I
fat
fight
than he
you,
really
can
was.
I just switch out these lights? Sure, go on then.
Did you guys watch
got
the
me
Ralph the Movie Maker review of Steven Seagal movies?
Yes.
There's so many good Steven Seagal videos on the internet. Like everybody that does one, they get like a hit out of it. It could be any content creator, even the worst ones. Morgs could do a fucking Steven Seagal video. David Lewis May Morgs is Steven Seagal. Oh, my mom is Steven Seagal. Sorry. I fucking hate most of YouTube. That's why I'm here in the good part.
I fucking hate most of YouTube. They embarrass me every day.
So here's the thing. I fucking hate Quentin Reviews. He's a fat neckbeard. And he's just so sexy. No, anyway, back on topic.
Anyway, talking about sexy people, here is Dr. NerdLove. This is a 16-minute video.
Wait, what does he have to do with this?
He's talking about positive masculinity.
No, you're... Oh. Okay.
So, you know.
I don't know what that is. All I know is toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I know. You think that there'd be negative masculinity, but no. It's toxic and then positive. There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
There's no neutral masculinity.
It's like 99% of a male is toxic, and there's 1%. It's just, you know, good.
You're a toxic male. No, I'm neutral masculinity. Neutral. What is it? Lawful neutral.
So one is Nordic masculinity.
I hate women, but I won't kick puppies. Neutral masculinity.
I hate women, but I don't oppress them. What is that? Is that toxic?
You're suppressing your toxic masculinity.
I think that's lawful evil.
I'm internalizing my misandry.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, let's get going. Everyone's good? All right.
Chat seems to have been seated. Welcome, best chat, to another episode of the Shineying Glib Show. I'm Shiny.
I'm Glib.
Nice.
We have budget Shiny here, and the patron saint of Steven Seagal.
Well, Shiny would have come here, but since it's not anime, he's not showing up. He only shows up for anime.
He only shows up for that weeb shit.
All right, let's go.
In a society seems filled with...
In a world where society thinks you're not a guy.
In a world.
Only one man can save toxic masculinity. Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Steven Seagal is positive masculinity.
Masculinity. I'm gonna take you to the bank. To the positive masculinity bank.
Hey man, I'm taking you to Planned Parenthood.
Oh my god.
examples.
We can't get anywhere.
We're 3 seconds in. He is really low.
You know who else can't get anywhere? Steven Seagal.
Of course, he danced.
Zing!
Oh dear.
I like all his rings.
Seagal dance.
They're very...
That's how he gets everywhere.
Unfortunately, I have seen Steven Seagal dance, and yeah.
Have you heard his track, the Punani track?
What?
Say that the Punani, the mana Pupani. It's so dumb. Sorry. Aikido.
I shouldn't laugh and drink. I was going down the wrong hole.
That's what your mom said when I took her to the blood bank.
That was a different bank there, Glib, I think.
When I took her to the bank. Sperm bank.
You can rob every bank. Don't discriminate.
Oh, here's
I
Jake the Surgeon.
I apologize to everyone who actually wants to see this video. We're going to be talking about Steven Seagal, something much more interesting.
Something much more interesting indeed.
Want?
Oh, you know what? We're going to have a weekly Steven Seagal video if that's the case, just to worship him.
I'm totally down with that. I'm totally down to do the whole thing. Yeah. Steven Seagal is an endless source of hilarious shit.
Yeah.
Like if I have to pick between Renegade Cut or Maggie Fish, I'm just gonna go with the Seagal. Yeah.
I want a buddy cop movie where it's Steven Seagal and Tommy Wiseau, and they're just trying to solve a mystery, and it's Neil Breen that's behind everything.
Oh
no! It was you the whole time, Neil.
Hello, Hollywood. We got a zinger here.
I knew it was you.
So, when you start writing the script, what script? We just send them out into the wild. They'll sort themselves out.
Well, you write a script, but you don't depend on it. You just whatever you get, and then you hire, what is his name, James Franco. You hire him to make a documentary about everything. So like you just have James Franco in the wing with a fucking DSLR camera and a friend or something like that, and he's just making a documentary of the whole process, and then you sell both at the same time. You make double your money.
Oh dear.
Yep.
All right.
I'm stealing all the birthdays.
We could do one. I think we could, if we could properly schedule this out, we could have one Renegade Cut, one Maggie Mayfish, like every Friday or something like that. I don't know, some crazy schedule, and then one Steven Seagal.
I don't know if I could handle all that cringe.
Oh,
No.
gotta plan it out.
That'd
Glib.
be.
Gotta
It's
schedule
like
Mm.
it's like Monsters Inc. when they go from scream to laughs. Like if you do that, I don't know, we're gonna be filling up a lot of cringe jars. You know.
Yeah.
I'll make a new voting list on the Discord so we can have a big list of Steven Seagal videos to watch and peruse and vote on. Okay, anyway.
Oh my god.
Let's get going. Jake the Surgeon, after his 1,000-year isolation, Seagal found the Dunn who guided him back to the light. Oh my. Well, he had
Hell
to
yeah, the
slay
Don.
Movie Bob for his evil. Seagal still loves him. Oh.
Oh,
You could write. I think I'm
I-
gonna try and get LiteratureDevil to create a character in Dr. Alpha that's like Movie Bob, and it's just like reworked Movie Bob quotes, just like Mad Libs. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that and do a little
Don't you think that's
expanded
too
universe.
evil?
wasn't
'Cause
the
it's-
question who would win between the Don and Steven Seagal? We didn't.
Oh, the
know
Don
who
would. The Don. Come on,
Yeah.
man. The Don is the real deal.
Yeah, but Steven Seagal. Yeah.
He was just nice. He let Captain Marvel win. You know what I mean? He's like, poor girl.
Yeah, but
Just-
Steven Seagal wouldn't have got his hand crushed. He's going, nah, I'm not giving you my my jacket.
That's true. That's
Then
very
like,
true.
then like waddled away.
Yeah, Steven Seagal is like a Mary Sue in real life.
Yeah. He's got shotgun arms.
Message coming in.
Just to cock them every
That's
time
true.
he's ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like what was his name from Mission Impossible when he was fighting in the bathroom?
Yeah. Henry Cavill. And reload his arms to
All right, Kyle Rocket, thank you, sir. Ginger, this should be good. Yeah, I know. We've already.
This frame we stopped the video on, I find it very threatening and toxic.
Well, he's got some earrings. He's got some rings. It's 3 seconds in. He's already very emotive. It's very domineering.
Very angry.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. Don't always judge a ginger, on
By its
face
cover?
value. By its cover. Because I was watching a dating show, and the ginger guy was the most Chad guy out of all the men. He literally just hated the vapid women there and literally wanted to leave.
Sounds good to me.
Good on him.
Yeah,
It's funny how
it is.
ginger, like when somebody's like upset about gingers, it's usually just male redheads. And I think it's funny because then you have a bunch of people that have a fetish for ginger women, like redheaded women. They're like, oh, I just love redheaded women. Like, what the fuck is that? And then people all have like the anti-ginger experience. You know what I mean? It's so weird. I feel that a lot. I think that happens a lot. Like people hate something, and then there's like a slightly different version of it that they really love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder how many racists are out there that are like, I just love that black booty. Like, give me that. You know what I mean?
I love Puerto Rico.
I just love white people, but that ass.
Yep.
All right, let's see what the dating coach has to say about masculinity.
Oh.
Masculinity. What does positive masculinity look like?
Welcome to my TV show. My name's Ginger Man.
Dating.
Hey everyone, Harris O'Malley from DrNerdLove.com. Last week
Oh,
we
Harris
talked a little bit
O'Malley,
about
oh my
the
God, yeah.
effects
Hey,
It's
of
Harris
iron
O'Malley. I'm here to
on
talk to you
men.
about the toxic masculinity. It's terrible.
Wow, you started as Irish and ended as Scottish. I tip my hat to you.
Just like the United Kingdom.
Yes. There was a perfect fade into it as well. You hit all the right ginger notes.
All he needs is like a.
Wait, did you say O'Malley or McMalley? McMalley!
All he needs is a
Look,
sniff
Matt.
of brandy or scotch and maybe a cigar or cigarette. You'd be like, okay, guys, this is what it is.
I can do the perfect Scotty accent
he-
from Star Trek.
He just needs a 2 foot tall green hat. on his head, that'd be perfect.
My mother was Scottish. My father was a fucking drunkard, or whatever.
Oh, he's sitting on a can of like Guinness, or no, a crate of Guinness. He's just sitting there, not even opening it, just sitting there. Like,
All right. We're making terrible toxic masculine jokes.
let's go.
Terrible people.
Toxic masculine jokes against males.
Individually and society as a whole. This week, I want to keep the conversation going and address one of the issues that comes up in almost any discussion around the subject of toxic masculinity. Like I've said before, toxic masculinity does not mean that being masculine or being male is inherently bad, toxic, or something to be apologized for.
Thank you, because the feminists kept saying that for how long now?
Yeah, that's what they really mean. If you inquire to a certain point, eventually they get backed into that corner.
Yeah, we'll probably just have to hold our celebrationary yays until he's finished describing what he thinks toxic masculinity is.
Toxic
he still
masculinity
thinks it exists. The fact that the minute you start saying it does exist, you've got. I'm like, no, because everything you say can easily be put onto a woman, thus nullifying the toxic masculinity, well, thus nullifying the masculinity part.
A lot of it is projection as well.
Yes.
Okay, just found out this guy has articles on Kotaku from about 3 years ago. So
Wow. So yeah,
that's a good sign.
I'm out, guys. Yeah. Good luck with the rest of the stream.
Okay. So,
I like
we
this-
already
this-
established he's probably not a doctor.
I like the
But
still frame.
Is he a nerd?
Dr.
Um,
Nerdlove. Dr. Nerdlove here to get you laid with Velma.
I mean, if he writes on Kotaku,
Hi, everybody.
hipsters
Dr.
haven't been
NerdLove.
shown to know their stuff very well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kotaku, they know their stuff very, very well. Yeah. Ask anyone at Kotaku; they'll give you a straight answer all the time.
Yeah. Oh dear
Cuphead
Lord.
tutorials for everyone.
Yeah.
Nor does it mean that the way to not be toxic is to be feminine. Toxic masculinity refers to behaviors and beliefs around masculinity and manhood that are seen as laudable or desirable, yet in reality are actually harmful and detrimental to the individual and to society as a whole. And this can
Wow.
When did this word coded turn up anyway? I've only seen that recently.
That was so
coded?
weird.
Coded?
Coded
like-
is
like
something,
when they say-
something recent. I know what I mean by it.
Right.
And
No,
also
it is
how
recent. It is recent, but it has to do with like them wanting to make everything a social construct, so they use the word coded.
Yeah.
Right?
That-
Oh, it's
that
not
I-
actually this. You're not actually that inherently. There's no inherent quality. It's just coded that way, and you can that means you can reprogram it. But that's not entirely what is going on, is it?
I think it's an alternative word for stereotype, so that they don't need to say stereotype anymore.
Makes sense to me.
I don't even. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the key to the trick. Yeah.
Because they're always fighting stereotypes, but when they are talking about their stuff, then it's coded things.
manifest
Yeah.
any number of ways, whether it is measuring your worth as a man by your capacity for inflicting violence,
By your
or
dick size.
Okay, I don't think anyone goes around
It's that nonsense.
thinking that I got to beat up a lot of people this month, or else I'm not a
Dude,
guy. That
The
doesn't.
majority of men aren't psychopaths.
I wish that
Well,
was the case. That'd be really cool if
Yeah.
we just had like violence. Like, how much violence did you commit this week, Jerry? Oh man, you're way ahead of me in your quota. Damn,
True
you're such a
or
man.
True or culture.
Keith,
When you beat
how
someone
much-
up and win, you get bigger.
Some good ass
how many
water
people- how many people
violence.
have you beat up? Oh, I only beat up 2 people. Wow, you're a bit
I'm only in
faggot,
the
aren't
D
you?
league of violence, of male violence. I'm gonna if I don't beat up 25 people this week that are B level men, then I'm gonna lose my license to operate a motor vehicle.
Then you're not allowed to drink anymore.
Damn, I can't drink until I beat up another man. I gotta stop
Yeah.
being
I
such
see
a
a movie
pussy.
with that story.
How many women have you beat up this week? None. Wow.
You gotta
You
work
lose
those
your
numbers
job,
up. Those are
you
rookie
lose your
numbers.
job, man.
Pump those numbers up.
So again, we don't know the definition of toxic masculinity as a hard rule or
Oh, word.
term. it's always something that someone does not like about male behavior, and it's never masculine. It's just this thing that they saw someone do, like approach a woman and try to make a joke or whatever. And it didn't hit as good as it should have, or wasn't as funny, or something like that. It didn't make them feel comfortable. Something along the lines of,
he smacked her ass without asking her, and then laughed. What a fucking Hitler
and
genocidal maniac!
It's always a vague definition, like the one he had here in this info box. There's nothing concrete there. Because it's all in flux. It's in constant flux. It's all subjective. What I see as bad behavior I don't like in this moment, that's toxic masculinity.
And also, can I just say something? That example of like slapping the girl's ass. That 9 times out of 10 she goes, God, I wish I could give my number to him.
I don't know about that. All I know,
letting her under your umbrella is toxic because you demean her.
All I know is that it's a double standard. They don't hold this standard to society. It's just double standards. Men are given one standard, and then women are given another standard, and then in that it's they're saying it's equality, and you're like, what? What do you mean it's equality? Like, a woman smacks my ass, I can't go and be like, excuse me, that's sexual harassment. You're going to jail, ma'am. Ma'am, don't touch my ass. It is my property. Government property.
It's a giant double bind. Like
that's the problem.
Like if you pay for the bill for the meal for the dinner, you demean her.
Message coming
and if you share the bill, you don't value her enough as a woman. That's misogynistic.
So what you're saying is, don't take her out for food. Excellent, got you. Right.
Just don't interact with women.
No. The thing is that you don't. The problem is that we play by their rules. That's the problem. They dictate what right and wrong is, and we go, oh, it's only this or that. It's only right or wrong. No, I have my own morality. I have my own principles. I have my own system of what I think is right and wrong, and it's not feminist at all, and it never will be.
You can get on my bike.
We're gonna have problems,
bitches. Vroom.
Yeah, as long as you try to not ruffle their feathers by how you interact with people who are not even them. You're just limiting yourself, and you are actually demeaning others. And you will never be able to not ruffle their feathers because all the rules lead to their feathers being ruffled.
Feathers. Yeah,
that's the trick of a double bind, and that's another narcissistic game that happens.
Do you see this Todd Howard? Do you see this Todd Howard?
It's glorious.
I want to read it.
Go for it.
I'm tired of these sick moves. I'm tired of getting my feet caught in these mouths of innocent women, man. I'm gonna go create life on my own world, on my own planet. Planet Zen, baby. All the energy chakras are all connected with the stars and stuff, man.
As long as he's green, or not blue, but at least green, that would be nice. Mix it up a bit. Tyler Preston, thank you. I know this guy back during Gamergate. Oh, wow. He even wrote an article comparing Aaron Joni, to Kilgrave from Jessica Jones.
It's really weird. I don't even know what Jessica Jones is. I don't know shit about that terrible TV show.
What? No. Anyway, that's my answer to it. But
I actually do remember Kilgrave just because they bothered to put him into the show. But yeah, the guy who could manipulate people's minds.
David Tennant's also David Tennant is a really good actor.
Yeah, that as well.
And it's like anything he's in, it's like better because he's in it.
You accused a woman who slept around with journalists to get better scores of doing that. That makes you a villain.
But like, let's say that she didn't, right? Everybody was just astounded that this person had no morals or ethics, and that's what they were really upset about. They were upset that this woman got exposed for sleeping with 5 guys, burgers, and fries. Just like what happened with, remember the Call Me Carson thing? How he was with that chick and then she cheated on with like whatever amount of guys. Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
So like with those cases, nobody's ever going to say anything bad about that because women are not held to a standard where that matters. No. Because we live in the simp world and clown world, right? So if it happens to Aaron Gajoni or whatever, and he gets cheated on. Well, he's just a fucking, he just got cucked, bro. Just got cucked. And if she's out here doing whatever she wants, she's like, yes, queen, slay, get out there and get your game out there. That's a text adventure that nobody will remember in 2 seconds. Like, that's the society that we live in, regardless of whether people they want to believe it. And it's funny that feminine people and effeminate people have a tendency to blame men for anything that goes wrong. Like in a vacuum, they'll blame men for it. And if you want to see like an extreme example of that, just think about like Trump derangement syndrome, where like Trump wouldn't even be involved in the conversation, but it's all fucking Trump's fault. You know what I mean? That's that side. It's like, this is all men's fault. Can't believe men. What are you talking about?
It could be a sealed room with 10 women in, and they'd still find a way that it's men's fault for everything that happens in that room.
That's the Glibdell test. Like the Bechdel test is does this movie have a sequence where 2 or more women blame men for their problems? That's the Glibdell test.
Yeah, in the end, they blame some mythological imagination about something. So it could just as well be Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but who is it? Who was a man then?
Oh my god, he's a white man. He's literally the devil. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that this Sarkeesian game, no, not Sarkeesian, the Quinn game was even considered that. There are better free text adventures just out there available for free.
Yeah, that's how you know it's not about facts anymore. It's all about narratives and who has the narrative that gets the most sympathy. Sob stories.
Yeah, it's the one that's the sob story that gets most people who can pretend that they actually care.
That's because give me money for the emotional labor I put into creating these crocodile tears.
People don't really sympathize with men or men's struggles because they want somebody to blame, right? And if you can't blame somebody for your problems, then what are you gonna do? You're either gonna have to accept that things just happened a certain way objectively, or you're gonna have to blame yourself. And most people don't want to do either of those things. They don't want to,
especially if
it's accept your own problems and improve yourself. No, I just want to be the bare basic bitch. Ew.
When your basic strategy works, why change it?
Yeah. Why improve myself when I can drag down others to my level?
And get free shit for it.
Yeah, and get free shit for it. Yeah.
That's the point. If you wouldn't get free shit for it, they would change their strategy. Maybe even grow up. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be good?
Man, that's how. Whoa! I just have visions of a shiny, glamorous future that can't exist. Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Anyway, back to this ginger Irish person.
This lad. He's a good lad. Stop making fun of him. He's just trying to get the kids to get laid.
Essentially, you're right. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, with
That's his
positive
profession,
masculinity. Good luck with that, guys.
I'll be in the engine room.
Number 1, I'll be in the ready room.
Admiral, there are whales here.
That's
right, Scotty. Shut the fuck up now.
Your value by your sex drive or how much sex that you've had. Or, for that matter, the belief that anger, rage, lust, and stoic indifference are the only acceptable emotions for men to feel.
What? Stoicism and indifference are not the same thing.
What?
Yeah.
Stoicism is just accepting and enduring what exists. It's not... It's fucking not idealism.
You still...
Tomorrow is another day. Yeah, I accept that's happening. Well,
I didn't get everything he said, but you're right. And stoicism doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you have your emotions under control, especially in a stressful situation, which is what you learn in therapy if you have trouble with that,
or the military.
You know who doesn't have their emotions under control?
You're not gonna say it. You're not gonna say it.
Well, there's a lot of people, but I'm going to say feminists.
Oh, you got him, Morty!
Oh, you got him. You got him. Yeah, but
slam dunk.
in therapy,
Typical Hulk.
in therapy, we learn that the 6 basic emotions, of which anger is one, you have to all have in balance. Not too much, not too little, so don't suppress it. These all need to be there. They all need to be there, and you need to be able to express them all, not just part of it. And him saying that it's okay to be angry, or that is the only male emotion or something. Come on, that is just bullshit, and that is driven out of boys so early on they don't even know how to defend themselves against bullies anymore. You need a modicum of everything, and that in balance, and that's what you learn in therapy. And everything these people say, be it a radical feminist or be it guys like this, is creating an imbalance in your emotional household. And when he complains about stoicism, dude, most people don't even have that today. They don't learn it. It's driven out of them. The whole SJW ideology is anti-stoicism.
It's also like with the indifference. It's like, a lot of men are indifferent because we hear this shit all the time. We really don't care.
Indifference is more something. Indifference is more akin to something that you do when you are subject to psychological abuse by narcissists and borderliners. That you call grey rocking.
Like what I just said. When these people start screaming and shouting, and we don't respond the way they want to, it's like, we've heard this one.
Yeah, part of that is
carry on screaming. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah. When you can't get out of such situations, then that is some people develop that naturally. Others learn that in dealing with these types of people. It's called grey rocking. Like you become a grey rock that just you try to let it all go past you. This is not yet stoicism, but it's a way to mitigate the psychological abuse and these. Hysterical and emotionally abusive people that this ideology seems to spread like a pandemic.
I just know when everyone starts screaming, "You're a Nazi, die, I hate you," and all of that to me, in my side of my head, I'm just like, nah, 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 nah. Oh, are you talking? Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
It's like,
kind of
bother me.
Kind of. Needs to. Otherwise they just destroy you from the inside.
Yeah.
And there's lots of discipline to talk about stoicism. It's not just a general philosophy. There's all kinds of ancient texts on how to study, how to learn.
Ancient.
Also, stoicism doesn't have to be inherently masculine. It's not masculine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not at all a masculine thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why stoicism is taught, especially because they're usually more affected and more often go to therapy, is mostly taught to women due to them going to therapy. That's where they learn it. That's where they learn to control themselves and reflect more, especially after they've been through that kind of abuse, because that also happens in families. And what also helps naturally develop some skin, some stoicism, if you will, as well. It's a natural product, is meditation. If you do the right type, not just this dream walking bullshit. That's just for esoteric fun, but real Soto Zen meditation, for example. Very, very plain stuff. Just sit. Do nothing. Just sit.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Vulnerability are considered to be feminizing and weak and associated with sexual desire. Just, to name a few.
Okay, let me just rewind that, because I think he said sexual desire twice, be good at both good and bad, so I'm a little lost what he's trying to equate these two.
Have sex but don't have sex, bigots.
Capacity for inflicting violence, or deciding your value by your sex drive or how much sex that you've had. Or
okay, so that's
toxic. Not just, but that's not masculine. Sex that applies to women and men.
Wow,
if you are putting your value. If you're putting your value in it by how much sex you have, then you're not really having a healthy relationship that's considering long-term repercussions or aging or the cycles of your life or any of that shit.
We could argue a Epicurean view of life, or this is a pleasure principle, so hedonic views of the world. So either you're the Cernist, So you have as much sex as possible is good, or you have a very specific kind of sex is good. Like, it's just whatever your mentality is. Both can be psychologically healthy. There's obviously ramifications for each.
Right.
But, you could address it in that way. So why he's seeing it as toxic, I don't know. Because there's women out there as well like that. So I don't know specifically. If he's talking about a conservative standard for marriage and this and that, then yeah, obviously you don't go around sleeping with other people. But just sex as itself, no, there's nothing inherently right or wrong with doing that. So
Right.
Well,
It's also contextual though. It's definitely contextual, and there's not a flat thing across the board. But inherently, Smud, there's nothing about quantity of sex that really would distinguish it from male and female. I understand that there are people out there that are like, bro, you got to be fucking all the hookers, man, and all the whores. Oh man, Chad McChadwick just fucked the cheerleaders. So shit, man.
I always think if you have to pay, then yeah. But...
By his definition so far, one of the really horrible girls I knew complained regularly about, oh, my blind date broke apart. I'm forever alone while being in a stable relationship. Forever alone. Is she now masculine?
She's a real dude. She's a real bro.
Yeah.
She's out there.
Well, she's got a pair of balls on her.
She got side hooves.
Foolish behavior.
All right, let's continue on with this toxic femininity.
For that matter, that anger, rage, lust, and stoic indifference are the only acceptable emotions for men to feel.
Who said that?
And
Stoic
that
indifference is
love
bullshit.
Who said any of this? What straw man is he building up here?
The general phantom that I see always being built up. It's just, there's this demon I'm telling you about, and it's really evil. Don't do anything that demon does, and that I put to it, including the positive things I put to the demon, so that you don't do them. And listen to me. I tell you how you can be a good person. Just listen to my gospel. Listen to how I interpret this book, this holy book. I can tell you how to be a good person and become virtuous and have a great time in the afterlife. I mean, utopia. That's what this is. You're a sinner.
I am a
tell
sinner.
you
That's
how
true.
you can stop to be a sinner.
Yep.
So these are all bad things that he's listing. Not necessarily his opinion, but just as he understands them, I think.
Well, because obviously he sees women as these virtuous lights of godliness that could never do any of these things at all, because women aren't humans with human emotions and human wants and needs. They're just figures on pedestals that are perfect.
The celestial light floating around us.
They're cosmologically above us. And so they're just objects.
Sexy objects.
Sexy objects.
There's the idea of a woman, and then the actual women. Like, what?
Yeah. Don't start
are
lockdown.
Feminizing and weak and associated with sexual desire. Just, to name a few. But like I said, non-toxic or positive masculinity doesn't mean apologizing for being a man, nor does it mean trying to be as gender neutral as possible.
What does it mean?
Then you already don't please the feminists who made up the term toxic masculinity. You are already a toxic male for disagreeing with the definition of toxic masculinity, because you don't accept that these are still toxic males.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations, you play with yourself, because nobody likes this shit.
What else is he gonna do?
Oh, that'd be ironic as a dating coach.
I'm a dating coach. I get other people laid, not myself, okay?
I gotta write another book.
I'm an
I
expert
take my job
in
seriously.
theory. I'm an expert in theory.
A lot of beliefs and traits that are coded masculine that are very positive. honor, discipline,
That
intellectual curiosity, compassion, generosity.
Oh.
But at the same time,
Okay, all
women
those
can't
things,
women can't be compassionate or have intellectual.
Oh, wait. Self-discipline.
curiosity.
You hear
that's,
this first
that's already something we must never expect or demand of a woman. Furthermore, self-discipline intertwines with stoicism.
Yeah. No, but I think the best
indifference.
one is intellectual curiosity should only be done by men because it's a masculine trait. Women shouldn't.
Oh my god.
Try
So
to
we
learn
need to get all the women out of STEM so that there's more resources for the men to be intellectual.
Yes. Dude, finally
Yes.
someone's making sense. That's positive masculinity.
Yeah. Wow.
Fuck, I
My-
have to get out again.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Oh.
so all these virtues or terms have virtually nothing to do with being a male, as far as I can tell.
No.
Right?
all
Virtues
neutral.
are not inherently male or female, right? Unless the virtue is what you do with your masculinity or femininity, in which case that's actually a very interesting idea, but I don't think they want to actually like deal with the consequences of that, because that means that having a lot of kids is a feminine virtue, because you can.
Mhm.
So you're responsible for it. And that means that being a male that is strong and able to take command and order and be disciplined where others aren't is a positive masculine trait, which means that basically following your instincts to be male or female and contributing to society, when those things are together in a civic or ethical context, that means that embracing your masculinity and your femininity is a good thing. So toxic behavior, whether it's male or female, I think it doesn't really matter, because the toxic female behavior that a man is doing is just as toxic, right? In theory.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter what gender is doing it. What matters is ethics. What matters is responsibility.
It's all active confusion by them building up these categories and lists about stereotypes. Because from my experience, I don't encounter these views on the street with the average person. I only encounter them with these ideologically possessed people. Only they have these extreme views about men and women. Maybe there are mirror images on the opposite side of politics that are just as extreme. Okay, yeah, I give you that. But they indulge in these extremes. These people reject these extremes, and it's and by 100% that you have to do the opposite of it. What he's doing now, okay, he's trying to reframe it a little, but it's still the same weird, broken stereotypes that these radicals have about men and women being only these things, and that these elements are inherently this sex or the other sex, and it's just a complete black and white thinking. They are the binary thinkers. That's the irony here.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Oh no!
Only men and women.
You diverge from this binary setup of stereotypes of them. They say you're trans. It's insane.
Here's Evar Jantz. Thank you, sir. This guy's wife's boyfriend must be very proud of him. I'm glad.
Of course.
You should read.
Go-to.
You should read the titles he's written, or at least the articles. But just read the titles on Kotaku. They are, well.
What are they? Read some.
You want me to read some? I'll bring them up on screen.
Jamie, pull that up.
Here we go. My girlfriend hates safe sex. My girlfriend lied about being a cam girl.
What are you saying?
My boyfriend's pregnancy kink
My
turns
girlfriend
me
hates
off.
safe sex. What's the first two lines of that? What are the first two sentences?
I gotta open it up. Oh god, why do you let me do this?
My girlfriend hates
Because
sex
this is
with her
this is
boyfriend.
important, Smud. We're being thorough.
This is
Hello.
supposed to be a gaming website.
Hello,
This is
all.
a part of the hero's Germany.
Germany.
What do you do when your partner can't agree about how to prevent pregnancy? What are the best ways to help someone who's dealing with a massive anxiety attack and nothing seems to be working? It's time to move the payload. Let's do this thing.
It's time to move the payload. Did you make a TF2 reference to sex?
What are you
Yes.
talking about?
Wait, hang on. Why is his girlfriend having a massive panic attack as they're about to have sex?
I have no idea.
This is the.
Why are you writing about it?
Yeah, that's the first question.
Was
I'm gonna
that
have
his
sex with my
first
girlfriend.
article on the website, or
Wait.
was it the last one?
Did I get that right? The girl has a panic attack if they have sex that prevents pregnancy?
Yeah,
No, with him. She had a panic attack because she was going to have sex with him.
Yeah, let's just go through the
Well,
list,
she's not your girlfriend, I guess.
because reading them will take too long. So, my girlfriend hates safe sex. My girlfriend lied about being a cam girl.
What?
My boyfriend's pregnancy kink turns me off.
What?
Our relationship is great, but I can't stop worrying. My girlfriend's friends all hate me. Am I too close with my ex? Is approaching women fundamentally unethical? Oh my god.
Oh shit! Can I ask for a refund? Like, I don't think this guy is capable of coaching me.
Dude, I don't think you're in a relationship.
This guy really does give relationship advice. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm going to stop because they get worse as you go further down, so I'm going to stop now.
They get worse as they go further down. Jesus Christ,
yeah.
they weren't fucking great to begin with.
So
how do I hit on
remind
women
you,
without being
there
a
was
jerk?
supposed to be a gaming website at some point.
Yeah.
See, here's the problem. Here's, like, what do you mean being a jerk? You know what I mean?
How can I my coworker's relationship? All the answer to these questions,
the answer is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
How do I hit on women without being a jerk? Nut up, bitch. Stop being stupid. How do I handle my coworker's relation drama? Ignore it. Get out of it. Tell him to fuck off.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about learning about our Lord and Savior Steven Seagal?
Oh, little plug there, Hawk. Nice job.
Yes.
All right.
That's Steven Seagal is his wife's boyfriend.
Oh no. Don't say that.
I'm just kidding.
Jake the Surgeon. I always thought that toxic masculinity was unrefined masculinity due to the lack of a strong male role model like a father being consistent in daily life. That could lead to many problems that children have growing up, and we've seen that in single-parent relationships. So that is certainly an interesting influence.
Women who don't have father role models still go off the deep end.
It depends.
Yeah, and I would say that this is how any naive about the politics and sensible person would interpret the term toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
If that was, hey, what do you think this means?
I'm gonna be honest here. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
No, it is. There's only toxic. There's only
toxic traits.
Yes, thank you. There's only bad behavior.
Yeah, and what I mean to get at is that's the case with all of the terms the people from that are ideologically possessed in this area are coming up with. They're all terms that if you ask the average Joe, here's a word, how would you think? What would you think this means?
Patching it through.
And they would all come up with something sensible and grounded in reality, even if there would be better words for it than this ideology term. But what the ideology defines these words as, or roughly, or says this is not it, is always insane and always means something completely different than would be intuitive into thinking it means. And that's again where I when I talked about neologisms, new words that you come up with to define things, to make language more precise. This is the opposite of that. I come up with words that mean the opposite.
I have an idea for us. Because I've actually been thinking about this for a while, but I haven't had the commitment to be able to do it. But you and I, and anybody who else wants to get involved at a certain point, I guess, starting with you and me, we should do an Indiegogo eventually, but we should put together a dictionary of neologisms with our definitions, and then put the dictionary out so that people can read it. So then when somebody hears a term that they don't know in this new world edition or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, we have to update that every week.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a good idea? Like we can sell a copy of it like first edition as a run, and then have an updatable wiki, or not a wiki, but like a, you know what I mean?
I've had that idea years ago, and I've slowly again and again I started lists of these newspeak terms.
There we go.
Message coming in.
Because that's you need a dictionary of newspeak and normal, newspeak English and newspeak German. Otherwise, you don't know what these people mean and say. And there's so many of them that are in the general language already that people don't question anymore because they don't know what they actually mean. Like progressive. Progressive doesn't mean what people think it means. It doesn't mean progress to the future and humanism.
No, progressive
means socialist.
Regressive. No, progressive means regressive now.
Yeah, that as well, because that's what socialism always leads to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there was an official definition during Weimar between the socialist and communist parties that they will relabel themselves as progressive because people were already being turned off by the term socialist. So they had to. This is a rebranding strategy, basically a psyop, if you will, an early version of that. Like, oh, you want to be for progress, right? Then you want to be for us. It's like the Catholic Church saying, oh, if you are for compassion, then you are a Christian. Join us and pay taxes to our church. Because you want to be a compassionate person, right? Yes. You can't be compassionate without being part of us.
Okay, let's try and keep going here. Everjance, this guy is like the DSP of dating coaches. WTF?
I like that reference.
Oh, he's not that bad. Come on.
No, he's not that bad.
We aren't that far in yet.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we don't really know.
He looks
maybe he'll surprise us.
DSP.
It can get worse.
It can.
It can always get
minutes to surprise us.
And Jake the Surgeon, thank you again. Steven Seagal in Testosterone and Lighting. Or lighting. It's testosterone and lighting. All right, I thought lightning, but lighting it is. How do you like your steak? Well done or 6 feet under? Okay.
If you focus your lighting, you get a laser, and then you have a laser-seared steak.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
That
sci-fi
sounds,
steak.
That sounds like a German invention.
Oh, don't get me started.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
This doesn't mean that masculine-coded traits equate to masculinity. The point of positive masculinity isn't to just switch out one set of definitions for another. It's to expand what it means to be a man. Physically, mentally, emotionally,
This is exactly
socially.
the same argument that they make with fucking canon in fiction. They're like, we need to expand what Star Wars means. We need to expand what it means. Expand what it means to be a pedo. I mean, what? You don't want to hear that word. You don't want to hear them expanding anything.
That doesn't mean we can keep all the negative stuff? If you just expand the thing?
No. It just means that the old stuff is toxic and this new progressive stuff is the good stuff.
Well,
but that is switching it out. That is switching it out. So he's lying.
Yeah, all he's doing is adding dimensions. Like, this is the physical element of a good man, and this is an emotional element of a good man. It's like, sure, but how does that relate to his behavior as a man? You're just saying, here's a good thing that people can do. And you're saying,
so he's not switching out the old stuff for new stuff. He is just expanding the stuff and then removing the bad stuff.
He's making the category big, 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 and there's all these other Venn diagrams that intersect, and you're like, what is this becoming now?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, and you're like, okay. And you're like, so all these things you've said, you could just replace man with woman, and it'd be exactly the same.
Games.
Yeah.
Word games.
How's this just masculinity?
Which goes to show you that the original...
it says man there.
Yeah, the original
if
term
I put woe,
for whatever masculinity is negative or toxic or whatever you call that was never really defined in the first place. It was never really a thing to be concerned about, to say, oh, he's behaving erratically, or this is something that only males do, or you see this in young men or whatever. It's like, no, there's just a bunch of feminists got together, called the term because they didn't like how men behave in public, who hit on them or say something clever and they don't know what to do. So they have to go defensively and rationalize that behavior. Make up some words.
It's funny because it's like, hey, we need to, it's not, look, man, sucking my dick is not gay. It's just expanding your definition of straight. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Okay.
Part of what makes masculinity so harmful is that it very narrowly defines what it means to be a man. It restricts manhood to a very limited definition that few, if any, can live up to, yet
Really?
all men are essentially punished
Really?
for never achieving.
Are we really gonna be
when
like-
Tyler Durden in Fight Club says, is this what a man is supposed to look like, when he's being played by Brad Pitt, who in this movie, yes, looks exactly like what a lot of men believe a man is supposed to look like, and
But he
quite
doesn't
frankly,
exist.
kill themselves attempting to achieve.
That's the whole
But
point.
While it's easy to talk about what toxic masculinity isn't, or what
Tyler Durden's a figment of Edward Norton's imagination.
He's a power fantasy. He's an actual power fantasy.
He's not real, dude.
Yeah.
So when you're literally saying that there's a fictional like person that is being represented, that's what that fucking whole story is about. That's what Fight Club is about the difference between the illusion and then coming to terms with reality based on getting their face beaten in.
But the best
that people
best thing about that is
people seek pain and punishment and fighting in this environment where everything is sterile and fake and you're supposed to get the string green strike pattern. You know what I mean? And like it's really funny to me that people are saying that there's some sort of masculine ideal that we can never live up to. It's like what are we going to say that about Jesus? Is like Jesus like as a role model for Christians and stuff? Is he just like you could never be Jesus? Why bother following him? Why whatever you said, just fucking do the other thing. Like there doesn't you can't do that. And imagine if like what if your role model is for masculinity was your own father? You're like, oh, I could never be as good as dad. It's like, oh, so now you have daddy issues. You know what I mean? Like, you need to give up on idealism as realism and just assume that idealism is what you're shooting for, not what you're trying to manifest right in this second.
I'll just also say one thing. Women also look for men like Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
like,
who doesn't want to
like
fuck Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna be brutally honest. No matter what you think, being a fat, neck-bearded, lazy cunt who eats cheese puffs in front of a computer screen all day long, you are not going to get all the bitches.
You know what's funny about that?
You are the guy who's going to raise the kids of your wife who didn't tell you whom she fucked.
If you were eating cheese puffs in front of your computer and you were Brad Pitt, then you probably would get chicks. You know what I mean? But the fact is that to get that washboard ab look, you have to put the effort in. It's not unrealistic. What it is you don't have the fucking energy and the effort and the focus to do that. That's really what's so funny about it. I've heard it from women a lot where they're saying that models and all this sexy stuff that you see in advertising is bad for their self-esteem because it's really just reminding them that they're not doing that. And some people, they like to blame genetics. They're like, I'll never look like that. I'm like, yeah, of course you're never going to look like that, but you could lose your put down the Subway sandwich and go run around the block and shut the fuck up and stop being so fucking melodramatically juvenile.
Yeah, you know, in this lockdown
because you get a six pack the same way that you stop being overweight.
You get a six pack the same way that you get a six pack by going down and making the effort to get it. You have to go to the gym, the muscle store, and put the time in.
Yeah. What I always laugh about is this. With this lockdown, people I know talk about putting weight on, and they look at me and I've put no weight on whatsoever. And they're like, "How do you do it?" I was like, "Yeah, because I just walk everywhere I need to go. I still go out and walk and do exercise." Oh, I said, "But you literally all just stay in your houses all day eating junk food.
Yeah,
put some effort in if you don't want to get fat."
And then they imagine if they got upset. They were like, "Oh my god, how can you say that? How can you say that I'm fat? What are you, racist?"
They do get upset. They do get upset.
And it's like,
I don't give a shit. I'm not fat. You are. So
I don't get upset about my like the things that I don't have. You know what I mean? That I'm like I don't have like a 9-inch dick or whatever. I'm not gonna get fucking upset about that because it's just not gonna change. Who cares though? What difference does it make?
I remember...
you don't need to pump the blood of all your body into it to get it up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Guys, don't get any ideas, okay? I remember from the 90s, there was this female comedian, and she was harping on Shania Twain, because Shania Twain has a song back in the day called That Don't Impress Me Much. And one of the lines of that song was...
Don't impress me much.
Yeah. One of them was, okay, so you're Brad Pitt. And she was like saying, what do you mean you're not impressed by Brad Pitt? Like, what does he want? What do you need him to do? Like another sit-up? Like, what works for you, lady? What do you want Brad Pitt to do?
Well, the thing is
honest with
that
with
now
that-
we're
that
getting
music
into
video,
the
that song. was
actual
really
nerd love
strange.
stuff. Here's the thing, guys. Women and men do not have the same sexual attraction. They don't look at their potential partners the same way. And because of that, you don't need a Brad Pitt six-pack to get a sexy woman that you might be attracted to. What you need to do is you need to cultivate a personality and have you have to have an ownership over yourself. Manhood as a way of you carrying yourself, as a way of the way that you present yourself and represent yourself. That's way, way more important than having a six-pack to get a girl. Because there are dudes with six-pack that are awkward as fuck and don't know how to flirt. They don't know how to just...
Yeah.
They have the fear... Like, if you have that thing where you're like, you know, you're afraid that she's going to cut your head off if you say the wrong thing, then she's not going to be attracted to you.
I know.
And that's what most nerds are. They're just insecure people.
That whole stanza...
that goes away with just experience.
Yeah, the thing is with that song is she's addressing multiple men, so she's like a know-it-all. It's like, oh, so you're a rocket scientist. That doesn't impress her. A man who's obsessed with his looks, like a Brad Pitt sort of guy. A man obsessed with his car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got a car. You know, that's sort of, so she's like listing all these things that she doesn't like.
She even goes like a trucker as well, like the exact opposite of all those things. Oh, so you're a trucker? And like, oh wow, that song's really like...
Yeah, like
God,
her standard is, I want someone to
calm
keep her...
down.
Yeah, she wants someone to keep her warm in the middle of the night or something was bizarrely specific. And you're like, okay, what? Why are you singing about this?
Okay.
So, yeah. It's
buy
like,
a fucking blanket.
General service announcement. The stuff you virtue signal about is not a personality.
Oh, yes.
No, it's not.
None of it.
Yeah.
And your sexuality isn't a personality either.
Yeah, so people are all unique and individuals. They have certain standards and interests and requirements, and just work on the things that you like doing. And hopefully you'll find someone who...
Yeah, no offense. If you're talking to someone and it goes like, hey, this is my sexuality, and then it's like radio silence, it's like, might want to start filling in that personality hole.
Right.
Because it's fucking empty.
Hello, this is my character sheet. These are my pronouns.
Yeah. It's a Twitter bio. Oh, that's great.
I don't want to read your fucking character sheet.
Charisma 0, attractiveness 0, intelligence 0, skill 0, strength 0. Boy, golly, those birds be dropping out those trees.
Dude, when we play D&D or whatever else, I don't want to read your character sheet. Just play the fucking game. Play your character. Be your character. Role play.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
All right. Jake the Surgeon. I prefer taller women who know their way in a fight and assert themselves. Thank you, Jake. Always nice to know your preferences. Not that I can help you with that, but, you know, it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
It can sometimes be a little difficult to actually picture it. And admittedly, whenever we talk about positive masculinity, the mental images that come to mind are usually either Terry Crews or Captain America. And to be fair, these are actually excellent examples of positive masculinity. But there are more ways of being a positive example of manhood than to be a big slab of beef with an upper torso like an inverted Dorito chip, no matter how sensitive or caring they may be. There are more ways of being a good man than just being Steve Rogers. So,
hold on. So now we're being a good man now. So it's just about masculinity, just being a good man. So a good person. This is the problem. They don't know what these words mean. So they just keep contradicting themselves.
The whole point of
The
whole point of Steve Rogers' story is that he didn't start out with this awesome superhuman body. He was just a scrawny guy, but he had all the right traits. He just didn't have the body.
But you could have easily done that. You could have easily done all those traits of a woman, so they're not masculine traits.
The thing is, he now did reduce Steve Rogers to the big meat slab.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And that's wrong. Yeah,
he knows he's lying. This is why he says it's very difficult to picture. Yeah, because it doesn't exist. You can't picture something that doesn't exist and then try and explain it to somebody, because it'll never look the same to another person. And this is the problem. So, yeah.
Not sure where he's going with Terry Crews, but that's like he's just a nice guy in general. So
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's just being a nice person. Everything can just be boiled down to being a decent person.
Yeah, isn't
Man
that so
or woman.
fucking annoying? They want to attack men, so they try and villainize some part of masculinity. And then they want to come around and say, yeah, but, you know, just be a nice person. But here are the ways that you be a nice person. So they take you on this long, circuitous garden path to come around to their vision of what good man is, which is fucking ironically sexist from their perspective.
Yeah.
We're fighting against stereotypes. Here, use these new stereotypes.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Allah's will, I commit to atheism.
Tell us why Terry Crews with his amazing body is bad, and why being healthy is bad, and why having a job and having a big family and great career is bad.
Tell me why being super strong is bad. Why working out and being awesome and sexy and having an oiled up torso and flexing is bad. Tell me that.
Glib, I can answer that question because their girlfriends don't have panic attacks having sex.
I want you to have a panic attack because when you see how I flex, I'm just so handsome and you're not.
The logical way to associate gender roles or these sorts of attributes is say, okay, what is a man? What is a woman? What is a male? What is a female?
Yes.
Say these are them. This is what makes a male. 4% more muscular mass, whatever. Fine. Okay, so therefore we will see males as having higher bodily muscle mass. Great. Okay, let's go with that. A good man has more muscles. That's not all of what a man is, but that's a start. And then you go from there.
Right.
And you start listing all like the physical elements, the intellectual elements, the emotional. You say, okay, fine. Go that way, then describe why this is good and bad. That would be the basic, I think, a pretty straightforward way of explaining things without going into too much chemistry and biochem and all this other stuff that we can ramble on about in detail. That would be pretty safe, I think.
But you have to find things that are specifically just men. Because the minute you can put it onto a woman, it proves it's not masculine.
Right.
That's the problem.
But of course, the irony is that both men and women I have seen in my life can have masculine and feminine traits, physically, mentally, socially.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And really, humans combine both, and it could have gone either way for any of us. There was no definite. It all just happened to gestate a certain way. So I don't know why people are so up in arms about gender shit unless they're trying to divide and conquer and control.
Yeah,
which is what they want. This is pretty much what they want to do.
I don't have a problem with anything women want to do or men want to do or whatever if it's not hurting anybody. What I have a problem with is trying to restructure society based on an ideal that isn't going to pan out and is going to inherently create inequality between people based on mandate.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Oh, here's a great quote.
All these definitions and what these the Hydra heads of this ideology all want is forbid you from being yourself.
Yeah. Being a free thinker, thinking for yourself, coming up with your own things. I mean, that's the only reason why I think I'm interested.
Be yourself. They say be yourself, but what they do is if you actually want to be yourself, and that doesn't conform with the idea of what is allowed to be good, they dogpile on you for not being good enough. So when a woman wants to be a housewife, have 3 kids, and that is what wrong. Really makes her happy, and that's what she wants to be, and that's who she is. In the inside.
She should be an internet thought, slay girl, queen, slayer.
Yeah.
YOLO. Shit. I don't know. I'm old now. I don't remember. I don't.
They have to make her miserable.
Yes, Queen Slay. That's all you need to say.
Yes, Queen Slay. Right, thank you.
Okay. Here's Jake the Surgeon. Kazuma from Konosuba is apex masculinity. He understands true gender equality.
That is true.
Oh yes, he does.
That is true.
I like Spike Seagal.
Spike Seagal.
Spike! Omae wa!
All right. Let's try and keep going.
A difference for a minute. To an entire generation, Fred Rogers was a beloved figure from childhood. Someone who invited children to be his neighbor, engaged their curiosity by teaching them about how the world works, took them to interesting places they might never otherwise see, and who encouraged them to be open and caring and honest. Part of his message was that you were special exactly as you were and deserving of love and caring. And to children who might not fit in for any number of reasons, that was a really important message to hear.
Despite that's great. But why is that not taught anymore? Why is if you don't fit in anymore, you have to be changed and castrated?
Right. I mean, I'm not disagreeing.
Was also a character as well.
But this was a thing that you put your kids in front of the TV to watch, so the parents could have a half an hour off. So, you could learn some stuff from him, but it was pretty basic stuff. It wasn't that exciting. It was fine if you were like 2 or 3, I guess. But
I really enjoyed this show when I was a kid because they were very simple moral tales.
Right.
All of the characters were very kind, and then the real cool thing about it was that it was teaching you civics. Like, he's like, here's a town, welcome to our neighborhood. And that was the metaphor for your neighborhood. So he would go to the post office, and there would be the post office guy, and there would be the bottle plant guy. And I was like, wow, this is like, those How It's Made shows kind of. So for kids, that stuff, Shining Time Station with George Carlin of all people, very good formative information.
Patching it through.
But the problem is that nowadays Mr. Rogers wouldn't be woke enough. There's nothing woke about Mr. Rogers.
When you describe that sounds super conservative.
It's super conservative.
Yeah.
There's nothing about Mr. Rogers that isn't like a Christian, family-oriented personality. And all I got from what this guy's saying is that masculinity should be more like Mr. Rogers, in which case that's great. But I think that Mr. Rogers, on the other hand, benefits from being in a society that was founded on some more violent stuff. You know what I mean? It took a lot of revolution and crazy shit to get to the point where Mr. Rogers could go on TV and be like, hello, children, welcome to the neighborhood. How did we get here?
Also, bear in mind, remember, he said children. He didn't say hello, male children, or hello, boy. It was all children.
Yeah. Hello, children. Today we have Macho Man Randy Savage. Hey, kids!
It's almost like
you can be who you want to be, brother.
It's almost like both genders can have the same traits. Maybe.
Learning about being educated isn't a gendered trait. A sexual trait.
I want to have a show like that with Chica
from
Babylon 5.
Intellectual curiosity is only a masculine trait. Remember.
My dad was friends with Andreas Katsoulas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! What an amazing guy.
He worked on the 3D animations.
I have a mask from a latex mask from Babylon 5 in my garage.
Oh my God!
Awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm always on that Facebook.
I really want to get him on here one day, maybe when he's retired or something.
JMS?
And he can just talk to Smud and us about some Babylon 5 stories. He's way more entertaining than me. It's awesome.
Oh, JMS is awesome, yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. Because in the 90s in Germany, there was a little kid that loved these animations in Babylon 5.
Yes.
Everybody
That's so funny that you say
them.
that.
I still hold them.
Great.
My dad was one of the people that did the CGI animations from season 1 because that was the season he was on.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. He did that. He was telling me that they had a room that was full of computers, and it took 24 hours to do a second of the frames. And then they had.
That's why the little animation with the Star Fury that just did this little spin, and it's just 3 seconds long, and it's just the in between scenes thing.
Yeah, the computers.
I bet they would have done more if they had the resources.
Absolutely. The computers were so hot that they had to add air conditioning to the room and run it out the door.
Jesus.
Oh, to put together a network cluster at that time, that must have been hellish work.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And connecting all those computers together, it's very funny. It's all very parallel. It's like a weird protocol that would never be used these days.
Yeah, SCSI daisy chains. Yeah, I know. I remember. Oh my God. Oh.
That's how technology gets forward. By entertaining her.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's keep going. Roan Harushan, based, dope, and lit. Yeah, that's our man, Mr. Rogers. Okay.
Hey, children. Ever rolled up some weed in the back alley car park?
Oh, that's me.
It does sound like he's completely there's beyond chill. It's like this some level of relaxation you've never thought of before.
By being gentle and soft-spoken, Mr. Rogers taught children how to live in a world that could often be confusing or chaotic or scary. And he did so with compassion and empathy. He would directly address confusing, even scary concepts that some adults would not think were appropriate for children, like death or even the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, because he believed that children deserve to be treated with respect and not to be talked down to and not to be hit.
So the complete opposite of what Hollywood is doing these days, and basically all Western media. That anime, by the way, is not doing that, and because that deals with adult topics, it also deals with injury. Western media almost never deals with the consequences of injury, and treating kids with respect and with empathy. That's something I miss to see from. I'm sorry that it sounds very generalized. But I miss this from a lot of women. They don't seem to have any empathy at all. Well, they just seem to act like all that matters is their view of the world, not that of another being, including the child.
If you watch
I've seen that a lot in therapy. That is really scary.
An average TV show for children these days, there's lots of CGI, there's lots of dancing and music and other such things. Yes, there are some morals here and there, but it's all very flashy. It's all very quick. And
let's compare this guy, and we didn't have this guy here over here in Germany, but it sounds very wholesome.
Oh yeah.
Compare that guy to the Teletubbies.
Oh boy, this is.
I hated the Teletubbies when I was a kid.
It's like, you imagine having a show like Mr. Rogers without any CGI, without any special weird things, just the puppets and a guy sitting down talking to you.
The kids would be bored. The kids would be bored shit.
Yeah, but would they care? Would they pay attention and go, huh? What is he teaching us? What's going on, mommy? Like, would they actually do that? I don't know.
I don't know, because the stuff that they get shown from a very young age is almost pretty much completely computer generated.
Yeah.
And animated now.
I've seen my niece and nephew, like, they are wizards at iPads, and they know where to go for YouTube to find their music video they like watching and dancing to. They are very literate in some things that I was not literate in as a child, just because my brother is kind of a book nut bar with, Edgar Allan Poe and whatever else he shows them for whatever reason. I'm like, okay. But they're really into like crazy weird things in video games like Katamari Damacy and other fun things for kids. So their world is totally different than the world I grew up in. And I don't think a story or storytelling like Mr. Rogers would work anymore. I don't think we could ever go back to that. It would have to be some watered down version, but I don't know. Like, I would have to think about that, how you would teach kids. There's some great books that we got for them that are fantastic, and they're really cool books with, I think they're from, was it Swiss or France? I can't remember where we got these books from. They're fantastic for reading, beautiful illustrations, simple to learn English, and these are the things I would have wished I had as a kid, because we didn't have them. Like, this didn't exist. So the basic stuff I miss, or I wish I had. And I don't see that nowadays unless it's like a book that oh wow, this is great for kids. This is perfect.
Question. I missed what age the niece and nephew was that?
6 now, and the other one is 2.5.
Okay. And they are engaged themselves, looking for the media they like, and they are going for more interesting and complex stuff than these infantile cartoons we see on TV.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That should tell us something.
Yeah.
Kids are getting smarter, but it's also because of the parents as well. They're also pretty well-educated, and my brother was an English major, so it was just constant books and poetry and weird stuff like that. So I don't know what he teaches them specifically, but, can imagine what their rooms are like.
Yeah, but I've noticed this with friends in the past that when their kids grew up, the stuff they were looking for themselves way outclassed the age, the general TV crap assumed they would like. They always wanted something more complex, something new, something they could where they could learn something new from, and not as simplistic as it was alleged to be. Kids want more than we allow them to often.
Oh yeah, I've had talks
in regards to complexity.
I've had talks with a buddy of mine. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he was into gaming and doing research on children and why children watch certain shows. And it's the same. This is why he was attracted to my videos, because I was talking about plot a lot, and he was using this idea of using plots to explain what makes kids pay attention. What are the people doing, and why are they doing it in the stories, in the videos, in the movies, whatever. They want to know what makes them go from A to B. It's a basic thing. And once they know that, they go, oh, this is why He-Man is trying to save the villagers or whatever. It's like, yes, they have a clear understanding of villainy and goodness and striving and conflict. It's like, that's it. That's all you need. Basic plot line. Kids can identify with it very quickly and go, oh, there's a hero. There's a villain. And as stupid as, Inspector Gadget was and all these other silly shows on TV, they made sense.
It was awesome.
Yeah, they made perfect sense because they were clear.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what I don't see anymore.
In comparison to that, the general trash that comes with this CalArt style, does any of that make sense? Does that have clear plot lines?
I have to give an example of an episode to actually.
I wouldn't argue with Gravity Falls, because I think that's actually a quality one of that style.
Okay.
I barely noticed it at the time, and then I saw the worse ones. Steven Universe bumbles around a lot and goes into randomness. The Thundercats I didn't watch. That was too repulsive already from the clips I saw.
Yeah, especially when they started insulting a dead person.
And other examples I have trouble with, because the more I watched these, the more I tended to stay away. Star vs. Forces of Evil didn't really go anywhere. It still was better in keeping the inner episodic plot going, just not the overarching.
Yeah, I know.
But Gumball, for example, isn't something that works for children. It has clear plot lines within the episodes, but it's too wacky, and it's more a teeny thing.
See, this reminds me of when JMS wrote the Real Ghostbusters, the first season, and it was clever and intelligent and for kids and adults, and there were words in there that kids couldn't figure out, but it was funny to hear Egon say them and all this other stuff. And then the producers got a hold of it and changed it around for season 2, and it was all messed up. Which is,
I thought it was season 3 they changed it to the Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters.
Oh, they messed it all up, yeah. And Joe is not happy, but again, this is kind of Joe's thing. Every time he does something cool, the producers get involved, and he's like, what do I do?
Why do you think you know my demographic better than you?
Yeah,
better than I.
Yeah.
And he's a good writer. He does some great stuff. He's some great comics. He's done some fantastic stuff, and it's just always the same story. He can't get his show off the ground without involvement from someone else that screws it up, which is scary. It's almost like reading an Ayn Rand novel or something. It's like there's this beautiful guy, inventor dude, and then government comes in and just, let's take it over and turn it around and do our own. Oh no, we don't know what to do anymore. Let's call the inventor guy back.
Yeah, it's like EA and similar companies buying up successful game studios that brought up as an awesome product, and then they say, "Oh, you have to change everything about it." Oh, why did you fail now?
In a sense, I could say
we will liquidate you.
There's several bad practices like multiplayer and microtransactions with multiplayer. All these little things that they want for business reasons, but for the most part, it's the actual developers. At least from my experience with BioWare and learning who did what and how, it's the actual developers that screwed themselves over for numerous reasons. That
I still have to read up on the Dead Space series, because that was another one that EA screwed over. But I don't think that one is fully that developer's fault. It sounded more like it was EA's fault.
There's a combination depending on the product and the if it's a series of games or a series of games from a publisher or a studio. There's all sorts of blame to be thrown around because games aren't perfect. They're not supposed to be. They're all a mishmash of ideas trying to cobble together a working piece of software. So
I would like to say in general, dear producers, please keep your fingers out of the product. You want to make it better, but you're only making it worse. You want more money, so keep your fingers off it because you ruin it. And then nobody wants the shit.
I want more wall running in video games, and that's all I have to say.
So we have to put that into every game.
Every game. Even when it's not necessary. Even games where you don't have the jump button.
Puzzle games.
The Sims wall running.
Wall running in all games. Period. And no falling damage in most games.
Oh.
I'm behind with this idea.
Even dating simulators.
Yeah. Especially dating simulators.
It's like, what?
Hidden away from of the world. By directly addressing these issues, Mr. Rogers taught children how to be brave and how to confront their fears by taking things that children often had a hard time dealing with and explaining them in a way that they could understand. And while his message was one of love and compassion, Fred Rogers never shied away from confrontation when it was necessary. Mr. Rogers stared down Congress in order to help secure funding for the public broadcasting system. He would directly address social ills of the day, like racism and segregation. In fact, he enraged evangelical Christian groups because he preached a message of unconditional love and acceptance, and steadfastly refused to condemn LGBTQ individuals. But he did all of this in a uniquely Mr. Rogers way. We should all be Mr. Rodgman, and with kindness and a reminder to even those who he disagreed with or who opposed him that they were loved and special just as they were. He was never angry, aggressive, pushy, or stern, but in his own way, Mr. Rogers fought to make the world a better.
Wait. Are you telling me that all these social justice warriors are all toxic males, even the women?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my! This guy's burning bridges so fast. I can't.
I can't. The fact that Mr. Rogers was never, angry or stern. Yeah, he was a character that was wrote. The guy could have been angry at certain points. What are you? I don't get.
He's probably not on the show.
Yeah.
Who cares, man? I'm not Mr. Rogers. He's too cool for me. I'll never be Mr. Rogers. You're setting me up for an untenable thing.
Unrealistic
I can't ever be.
Yeah,
unrealistic standard. Trying to hold me to a standard I could never be. It's unrealistic.
What a character
masculinity is pushing us to unrealistic male standards.
You want us all to be like this superhero guy that you love so much? Like, seriously?
So some seemingly conservative with really good values of compassion that's a good, perfect role model. Thank you, Mr. Lefty Man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't expect this.
Reject leftism, embrace conservatism, and Mr. Rogers. Yeah, okay.
Return to Monkey Cross.
Yeah.
I guess the upgrade from Rogers is what, like Jim Henson or something? Like, what's the next step in learning about being a male?
I told people a decade ago, these people just want to be the new conservatives. They just want to replace what is conservative right now with their own shit.
Except they don't have no morals or ethics.
Once they've taken over, they'll tell people to have kids.
I just want to be like in the Cowboy Bebop universe already. Hurry up.
Oh, don't go to Mars.
Yeah, the thing is though, you can look at all those crazed conservative Christians in the 80s and put them next to SJWs, and they're pretty much alike with the things they say. Maybe not the dress sense, but it's pretty much they're saying the exact same stuff.
Place. Another great example of positive masculinity comes from the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, Jonathan McIntosh
really?
has a great video as part of his series all about Newt Scamander and why he's a hero that we need. And I don't want to repeat everything he said. So instead, I want to point to Jacob Kowalski. Kowalski is almost the textbook definition of a stock comic relief character. In any other movie, he would be there to be the foil to the macho adventures of the manly action hero. Kowalski's goal in life isn't glory or...
Is his name Kowalski, really? Really? Because that's
they brainwashed that guy's memories at the end of the movie.
Because that's
Who's
the
he
name,
talking about?
That's the name we.
I don't know.
Because the Kowalski's the name we give to people in like action films that always get shot. It's like, oh my god, Kowalski's dead.
It looked like a fat. It looks like
Kowalski.
the stereotypical fat comic relief character.
Either the sacrificial lamb or the guy who gets the butt end of the joke, or they're dopey and moving about. Yeah, they always screw up.
Patching it through.
But
okay.
why is it always with people like this? If they can't connect it to fucking Harry Potter, they connect it to the other thing in the Harry Potter.
It's got to be the poor Polish bloke who gets the brunt end of everything.
Is Kylo Ren a positive male because he's so emotional?
Oh my god,
fucking awesome, and you're just so not cool like Kylo. You know, like just totally unstable Kylo Ren.
Just look at his barrel of a chest.
Man. Oh my god, his just waxed pale chest. It's just so handsome.
He can feel the rain.
I can smell the toxicity coming out of his pores.
And then he beats all the bad guys.
Wow.
The most positive thing
So
he ever
hot.
done was dying.
Ow.
And then Rey tames the beast.
That's
the classic story.
Fucking love it, dude. So good. Toxic masculinity back the fuck out.
She beats the toxic male emperor and she tames the beast. She does both hero journeys without doing the journey.
Yeah, be a Rey, not a fucking Luke.
Fucking space Republicans.
Where were we?
Space Technically, yes, they are.
I heard some Jonathan McIntosh and the butt of the joke guy in the Harry Potter movie. That's not a Harry Potter movie. I heard J.K. Rowling was cancelled.
No.
Yeah.
Why are we watching Harry Potter?
Yeah. Why do you keep bringing up? Why do you keep bringing that franchise, you bigot?
And Johnny Depp has been cancelled. Why are we watching Harry Potter?
Yeah, bigots.
This must be all censored and deleted from history. You can't bring up these examples.
Yeah. God.
Man, be professional.
Fucking toxic males in their Harry Potter series.
The difference is, I think that the movie actually made some money. The Amazing Beasts, whatever it was called.
Fantastic Beasts is where to find them. Yeah,
and some backstory writing to prove that characters are gay and stuff.
Oh, Dumbledore's gay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I need to write a book that proves it.
Wow, it made 812 million. Wow.
Did she run out of money?
Doing fine. It's doing very fine.
Yeah.
Jeez. I didn't even watch that flick. I don't care about it, but wow, that's a lot of money. Okay. Everjance, shameless plug for Won't You Be My Neighbor? Great documentary about Fred Rogers. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's probably not from his offense.
I only knew Mr. Rogers from that YouTube Ultimate Showdown song.
Yeah.
If anyone can remember that. That's the only time I'd ever heard. And I was like, who the fuck is Mr. Rogers? And then slowly, as the years have gone by, I've realised, oh, it was that guy.
It was definitely a North American thing, yeah.
So
back in the day.
The only thing out of North America that we used to watch over in the UK in that time would have been Sesame Street, probably.
Yep, for sure. And Jim Henson did Fraggle Rock, I think. What else was there? That was also him as well. The Muppet stuff, Muppet Christmas stuff.
But I'm talking about, this is like when my mum was younger.
Yeah.
So it's like her era of watching stuff. So
yeah, you're talking about like he was around. Fred was around like in the 50s, I think, doing stuff. So it was black and white TV at the time.
Yeah.
And Jim Henson was around there too. He wasn't as big though.
Jim Henson was mainly in the 70s because he died in the early 80s, didn't he? Or something?
Yeah, it's probably around 1990. I don't remember, but he was doing stuff. Must have been the 50s or 60s because he started off early, but I don't know how well known. He just started, so no one knew what he could do. So must have been around the 60s and 70s where he became bigger. Yeah. But all those great cartoons, all that great animation and puppetry, that was all Jim Henson, and I think he was on Fred Rogers at least once or twice. He had to have done something with him. But yeah, that was kids shows. It was all simple, basic stuff. It wasn't the crazy stuff. Was like Thundercats and stuff from Japan, like Grandizer.
The Muppet, the Muppet Christmas has been voted the best Christmas movie in the UK for like 15 years, I think now.
Wow. There was so many.
It's still got some, fans.
Oh god, yeah. There was also the show. The Muppet Show was pretty good with those two grumps on the box seats, and they're always like slamming. That was the best. There's Beaker. There was Animal. There's all very iconic characters from that show.
The only episode I ever remember of the Muppet Show is, what was his name, Martin Short, who becomes gigantic at the end and destroys the whole set.
Oh,
and for
really?
some reason, I remember that.
Wow.
That's the only episode I ever remember.
Was he playing Ed Grimley or was he playing something else?
No, he was just playing. I think he was just playing himself, and he just kept getting fed. He got left on a machine being fed or something, and I forgot where he was. And he turned up, and he was like 40 foot tall. And huge, and just like destroyed the whole set. And it's like
all the weird Canadian SCTV guys got work all over America, so it's hard to follow their careers. Some of them are still around too. So, oh boy,
fame, riches, or to get the girl. It's to open a French patisserie. He's short, he's fat, he's not traditionally good looking, and he's mostly there to mug for the camera and react with crazy expressiveness over the wacky hijinks going on around him. But it's that very emotional openness that is part of why the audience is drawn to him. He is in turn terrified, enchanted, saddened.
Yeah, he's the straight guy, right? He's not the magic guy. He's just the guy who carries the bags, right?
Yeah, but it's also so that the audience can learn stuff.
Right. You need someone
What is masculine about him?
Sorry?
He's a man, so he's obviously masculine.
Oh.
He has a mustache.
Oh my god. Wow. He's the everyman. He's just the bloke on the street helping his buddy out. Yeah. He's like, "What are you doing, mate?" He's like, "Oh, let me carry that for you."
He's there so that Newt can
explain things to the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
That's standard stuff. So, does that mean he's a great role model for a male?
Well, carrying bags for the women's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't just ask questions. Don't know anything. Just have intellectual curiosity, because that's masculine.
Yeah, I mean,
if you always ask the woman stuff, then you're annoying her.
Right.
You're putting all the intellectual work on a woman. That's bad.
But when you have a supporting cast member or supporting secondary character, they're there to help out the story. They're there to say, okay, get going. You have to do this. I'm going to help you. Now, you could have the opposite kind of role for a character who is attacking the main character when he's down to show him he's wrong and why he has to get back up. There's all sorts of ways that works well. So you need that sort of logical, practical, I'm the guy, like, what the hell's wrong with you? Go do this, you idiot. Go get out of here sort of fellow. Because if you have a story that's all magical and creatures and CGI all over the place, you want someone to go, here's Bob.
Remember, guys.
Yeah, you need a guy at the bar.
Don't be don't be the main character in your own life. Be the side character.
You're a side character to remind everyone that...
That's positive masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, be the side character in your own life. Let someone else be the main character.
When we will discuss the positive masculine traits of the Don.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like... what was that show? You Keep What You Kill. You play as... The guy he had dark eyes. It was a space opera. The ending is... That was the tagline. You keep what you kill.
Oh, Riddick.
Riddick. Chronicles of Riddick. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Chronicles of Riddick, yeah.
He was kind of like...
Space opera?
Yeah, it was space opera, for sure. Yeah.
Necromongers.
Yeah, and...
Necromongers. You keep what you kill.
Yeah, and he was his own character. I think that he might have had supporting characters with like Judi Dench, sort of.
You had Carl Urban,
right.
Judi Dench, and I can't remember who
right.
played.
Because he was pretty much doing his own thing throughout the entire time and trying to keep everyone else around him alive, but he wasn't too concerned about...
He failed miserably.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just doing my thing to survive and you guys are just helping me or just in my way.
Yeah.
So everyone's following Riddick?
Funny thing about that, the female character is what they based Jack on in the Mass Effect games.
Really?
Yeah, because in Pitch Black, which is the first movie
right.
with Riddick in it, she plays a girl called Jack who has a shaved head who's pretending to be a boy.
And they're in a jail.
But also in the first movie they're on a desolate planet with like prisoners as well. So,
I got to read that article. Holy crap, I haven't read it yet. There's so many articles on Mass Effect I haven't touched. I was like, I don't have time for all this shit. It's like, I missed that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So as a character, he's the lead, but he doesn't really need other people to help him. He's sort of along for his own stories. No one else is really assisting him. He gets advice, of course, but he's already equipped to do what he needs to do. And he's kind of like that Mary Sue moment without being overpowered. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would have that sort of character would have benefited a bit more with having an actual supporting role who was substantial in the story. Yeah. But
it's why Pitch Black is a better movie, because the characters Riddick does get battered and beaten up and isn't right all the time, and the other characters around him work off him.
Exactly. He is sort of the lead because he can survive the best. He can fight the best, but he's not perfect, which is good.
Yeah.
So it works. It works. That story is such a simple, good science fiction space opera. Love it. Anyway, let's keep going. Mike Testa, wrong. It was Buzz Lightyear. You must learn themes. What? What are we talking about?
Yes.
I'm lost now, Mike, but thank you for confusing me. All right.
It was Buzz Lightyear.
All right.
Or awed by the things that go on around him, but we are never supposed to believe that this makes him weak, sad, or otherwise lesser. In fact...
actually, he's very ineffective. He's kind of weak. He's always scared.
Mm-hmm.
And...
So he's isn't he supposed to be like a muggle as well in a wizarding world?
I don't remember.
He is.
Yes, he is. He's a muggle in a wizarding world. So guys, just remember, while everyone else has got magic and Chad and the main character, don't have magic and be a side character.
Magic sucks anyway.
And he wants to open a pastry shop. Really interesting.
You just want magic without rules.
Yeah, pastry shop.
You just complain about the rules that you can't get past, that you're constrained by them and can't be all powerful just by the wave of a pointy stick.
Can you hear that in the distance? It's the sound of all those panties dropping with the opening of another pastry shop.
Oh, that's so fucking hot.
Women do like pastry. I'll give him that, but I don't know if that's his plan.
Not in that quantity.
You can certainly lure a certain type of woman with having a pastry shop.
Yeah,
that will work.
I've heard of worse ideas to be attracted to the ladies. So
gave it the Danish baby.
The Danish bagels. Danish bagels. What the hell? Called Danishes.
I gave him a D. Danish bagel.
Oh my god. I don't think the Danish would like that.
Later.
Or the Dutch.
Listen, man. I know women. They want the Danish bagel.
Oh boy. Well, if it's a good Danish, then why not? Okay.
Yeah.
That openness and that expressiveness that draws not just Queenie, but us as the audience to him. And this is part of what makes him stand alongside Newt Scamander as a great positive example of masculinity.
Wait a second. What does
Queenie look like?
Are we trying to say a side character is a good example of positive masculinity just because he's relatable? We can understand him, and he's ineffective, and he's just a side character.
Yeah,
what?
This is literally being, guys, be ineffective in your life because that'll mean that you're a positive male. Okay.
This is the Kate Nolenko of characters.
Guy to have pity with.
This is the Jacob Taylor from Mass Effect 2. This is just the guy off to the side. He's just a guy, and you understand him, and he has some dreams, and he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's your idea of positive masculinity? You have all these kids watching Superman and Bat, like, oh wow, great male character. Oh, wow, they're so strong, they're so fast and smart. So here's the butler Alfred.
You see Citizen number 5. Yeah, that's what you should be. That's you. That's what you should strive to be. That guy gets crushed by that rubble.
It's one thing to have a side character that teaches the main character a rule or lesson because they need it, which is fine, which is great. That's why they're there. But to say in general, like, look how great Alfred is to Batman. He's always reliable. He's doing all the sewing. He's making tea. He's a great male character. It's like, really? Is he? He's barely in the story.
Yeah, because I just want to be a butler. Bit of a superhero. Yeah, sign me up.
There's nothing wrong with being a butler, but that's not the story. He's just a guy who's to help out Bruce to have a conversation when he comes back every time he fights crime. That's all it's there. To show that Batman has a real life outside of being Batman.
Yeah, Alfred sews up some tights.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Is that supposed to be Alfred?
Is this supposed to be Alfred? Is this supposed to be Alfred? Am I supposed to be Alfred?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Always.
Fuck.
I'm not saying these are bad traits, but to say this is what you want to represent.
Yeah.
What about Batman? What about all these other leading figures, leading men?
They're all toxic males because they get things done.
Yeah, but I could turn that around.
They actually have a spine.
I could talk about Othello and Iago. Iago he's not a leading man. He always fights from the rear. He's always backstabbing people. He's got these masterful plans. He's not a healthy role model. Those aren't good things to have in a male. That's how people die. It's how people go crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you want a secondary character who has a plan and has dreams, like opening up a TCA, to be what does that have anything to do? Oh, jeez. Okay. Maybe I'm reading too far into this.
He's surrounded by witches and wizards with immense supernatural power. He knows that he will never measure up to them. He knows that he will never be as special as they are. And
who cares?
yet, not only is he not jealous of them, he's not freaked out or scared of them either. To him, what makes them different is what makes them amazing. And while he will never be capable of the same miraculous feats that they are, he is the first to step up because they're his friends and they need him, and he will do whatever he possibly can. The same could be said about Newt Geisler from Pacific Rim. He's not exactly...
Oh my god, from Pacific Rim Job. Can you stop using examples from fiction, you fucking idiot?
So far, only Terry Crews is the example who exists.
Everything that I know from films that I've seen from mainstream media.
Yeah. All these blockbusters. Tell me how to be a positive masculine man.
William, don't make yourself vulnerable by just citing fiction. If he would cite examples from reality, from news articles or from history.
Yeah.
People,
I would be like that. I would
himself...
be like that guy who charged up the beach of Normandy with a fucking claymore. That's what I want to be like.
Yeah, but he's.
Fuck
with doing that, he would make
Harry
himself in
Potter
some way
people.
I'm lacking the English word. Attackable. I think he fears being vulnerable to attack or criticism if he used real people.
I suppose.
Because there could be something that's... Well, if he chooses the wrong example.
But because he used a character...
Well, if you just say like an ancient Greek story then, or like anything of those legends.
But in real life,
that's
so what you're saying is... I actually understand why you can't use... real life because toxic masculinity and positive masculinity doesn't exist in real life. I understand that. So it's impossible to use a real life example because everyone has negative traits.
You gotta stick with fiction.
Yeah, so you've got to stick with fiction. You've got to stick with your head up fucking Harry Potter's arse because that's the only fucking magical land where all your stupid ideas make sense.
Why not just use Superman? Why not just have the guy who's taught good American values, who believes in truth and justice, and always...
No, America's bad. America's bad. You should know this by now, Smud. America's bad.
I know, but it's so easy. It's so simple and obvious. Just pick the guy who's a hero.
You can't bring up historical tyrants because then we would judge the other people in history by the same traits, and then we would have to judge the socialist tyrants as tyrants, and that can't happen.
Yeah.
So we can only use fictional characters.
But because he's using a side character who's not buff and not strong and not the leading man, it's like, oh, okay, he's like that. You could have chosen Poirot. Poirot is not about Poirot as a character, it's him as a detective and how he solves the case. The story is about the murder and who did what. That's what's interesting about Poirot. It's not about him as a character because he doesn't really have a character aside from being eccentric and weird and brilliant. But that's not relevant. That's just he is the vehicle to solving the case, not we need him as a character to grow and change and learn. He's going to figure it out eventually. So it's why are you focusing on side characters? That's not very important.
Because he can't focus on main characters because he's not like main characters. He's like, as they're saying, he's a side character in his own life. He could
have actually said a story about Harry Potter and have Harry Potter who believes in friendship and saving people and sacrifice and all that, the basic hero stuff, which would be great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's not buff. He's not even a man. He's a young man.
Yeah.
An adolescent.
Yeah, wonderful.
That would work fine. But no, we got the side character from a side story about Harry Potter. Like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the argument about the traits of him not having powers but still having courage, that's a great thing.
Sure.
That's all his example is.
Being nice,
you can level that at every good example out there.
But that has nothing to do with being
especially
a male.
the examples that they always label as toxic masculines. They are always courageous people.
Yes.
Why don't they have...
They're always men who get things done. That's always what I find.
Why don't they show the side character do something that only a male would do that would be important because he's defending his friends in front of other stronger forces. It's like, yeah, that would be a guy thing to do. Women don't go around in front of scary-looking creatures. They run and hide because that's what scared people do. And I'm not going to say...
Oh, that's sexist. Oh, my goodness.
I'm not going to say it's all women.
All the modern series and movies have the women's do that. So they're all males now.
I'm still waiting for one woman to step into any of my street fights. Still waiting.
You're just sexist.
Especially when
I wouldn't say no to Gal Gadot rescuing me.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the side character being courageous and being heroic. They have their moment to shine. Mm-hmm. That would be fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, they should. But the problem is these side characters' moments to shine are. Let's be fair, they're pretty fucking basic and pathetic. They get the obligatory "yay," "oh, well done," then that's it. These side characters really are pathetic. I'm just going to say this: all the men who do stuff get boo, toxic male, man does something. As I say, positive masculinity. Don't have a spine. Don't stand up for yourself. be a bumbling side character in your own life story.
But this comes down to the problem of definition. He still hasn't given us an appropriate positive masculine trait that we can say, yes, this is undoubtedly.
Because the reason is, and I'm going to be honest with you, the people who bring up toxic masculinity haven't got a single shred of masculinity in them. They don't understand it. It's a foreign concept to them.
But he did bring up courage, but at the same time, these people claim people turn it around.
Guys, don't talk over each other.
Wait. He did name that. However, the same types of people of his political persuasion turn that around at the same time and say, charging headlong into danger and the unknown is toxic male behavior. Because it makes the women weep or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But think of everything he lists can be turned around into toxic masculinity.
Yeah, so let's take actual traits from men. There's all kinds of traits that women don't have. So we're taller, we're stronger, we're hairier, we've got Adam's apples, we've got deeper voices. We have all these
Dick Society.
The Dick Society, exactly. So all you'd have to do is take one of those examples and showcase a mature man, I don't know, shaving properly or shaving handsomely, whatever you want to call that, taking good care of himself. That, to me, would be a good trait. You're taught how to prepare yourself for whatever.
You don't shave. You braid your beard.
You braid your beard? Is that a thing that happens? Okay.
Yeah. That's a thing in Germany.
Whatever the case may be. And then say, here's an example of a specific masculine trait that only males have. And this is why it's a good example, because he's not looking like a bum. He's clean shaven. He smells nice. He talks well. He walks properly. He has good posture. All these wonderful things. Even if he's a small little stumpy little man who eats too much or whatever because he likes pastry, right? Fine. He has his problems. But you know what? He's nice about it. And he's proud of that. And there's nothing wrong with being proud the way you look because you enjoy the way you look.
Nice.
And that would work. That would be fine. We could say the same thing of a rotund little girl who's proud of wearing a dress, even though that's not very attractive to men, but she doesn't care. That's totally fine. Great. Off she goes. That would be the
posture helps with that too.
Well,
that was wonderfully put.
Yeah, well, we're not going to dwell on the women too much, but I'm just saying, these are things that you should identify as male, and specifically male, and then say, here's a bad example that is male. This is what you shouldn't be doing because of XYZ. That's it. That, at least from my definition. I could be wrong, but just listing a secondary character in a story who's doing his role, who has very little personality, and all he has is one dream to open up a shop is not selling me on these ideas of traits, which are good or bad.
Yeah, and what I also seem to get from how these people put it with the sexes is that there is only one type of man you can be and only one type of woman you can be. There's various types of adult men you can be. That is part of your personality. That's part of your interests. You can be the guy who loves to run into the jungle and find new stuff. You can be the guy who prefers to hone his fighting skills and to defend whatever. I mean, we're still talking about old society. The stuff we do now is not very old. Or you can be the smart guy who invents the fishing net. That's all. It's all great male stuff. You can be the guy who builds the houses.
Only thing I disagree with
is just different expressions of the same thing.
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with is it's only queers you can run into the wilderness. I've got that from higher up sources.
Thank you, Hawk.
Okay.
Next time we have a zombie apocalypse, we'll call you, okay?
Hey, listen, who am I to disagree with them, they, their, shme, whatever?
Okay.
I'm not a bigot.
Yeah, I am apparently. Mike Testa, I am the knight, is this guy Alfred? Yeah, I know, Alfred's amazing. He's the butler.
the platonic ideal of heroic manhood. He's a skinny, twitchy, nervous intellectual. He freaks out at the drop of a hat. He is very clearly the kaiju equivalent of that kid who had way too many spiders and bugs and reptiles in his bedroom. And while he may not have perfect hair and abs that you could bounce a quarter off of, he is as critical to the fight against the kaiju as Raleigh Beckham is. Without his brains and without his almost reckless courage and disregard for his own safety, the war against the kaiju could not be won. Now, what about sex? If toxic masculinity's obsession with male sexuality is a negative, wouldn't that mean then...
I know, what about sex? Well...
Enough of Pacific Rim.
How about sex? Well, I'll explain it for you, Doctor, because obviously you're not getting a lot. Sex is a wonderful thing. Don't worry about it.
Yes, please.
Your girlfriend will still probably have it with someone else. She's fine.
Rude. Excuse me, sir.
That is a rude but truthful statement. I have to apologize.
I only heard facts in the
How
past
fucking
minute.
dare you, sir?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Where's my whiskey?
Oh no, I'm being a main character in my own storyline.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get some whiskey after this for sure. This is definitely a 2-ounce problem.
That example of masculinity would be someone who doesn't care about sex at all? Yeah.
What?
No.
What the hell is wrong with you?
This guy is. I'm being brutally honest here. This guy is literally saying, "Be a fucking pussy. Don't do any manly." You know, you only started and said, "This is not what."
You are the guy who doesn't give a shit if you can put a smile on your girl's face.
Yeah. You're
Fuck
having a
you.
panic attack.
What's wrong?
Holy shit.
What's wrong with socializing and having a romantic relationship?
If I am with someone, I want to put a smile on that face that I remember. And you have no interest in that because you need that sexual drive in order to make that happen. Otherwise, it's just plain dumb conveyor belt work where you push buttons. And I'm sorry,
you make betas look alpha.
Inhuman sex work. That's not a relationship.
Yeah.
My God. Sex love advice from you, Mr. Doctor? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Mr. Doctor.
Yeah.
That's Professor Mr. Doctor to you.
Dr. Mr. Man.
Dude, I don't know what to say. My speech center is fried. Who the hell is this guy?
Be a spineless cuckold. Okay, cheers, thanks. Anyway, if you actually want to be masculine, don't listen to this guy.
Dude, I'm isolated in my room because of my health for apartment for about 4 years now. I'm on testosterone blockers. I probably have more action than that guy.
You should double up on that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I just don't have sex to be masculine. Pull the fucking other one.
Based and no
fucking
fat pilled. This guy's
Dude,
based, man. Don't fuck. Just don't fuck. Don't give women your seed because they desperately need it, these semen demons. The more that you don't fap, the more power you'll have. Just lift and meditate and focus and you'll be a billionaire off Bitcoin in no time.
If I've got a choice of being positively masculine and not having sex, or being a toxic male and having sex, fucking
having
chew
sex is
on that
crucial
toxic
to your mental
train.
health. If you don't have sex, you go and don't get this out at some point and get some closeness with someone. Get some oxytocin.
Yeah. I need the oxytocin. Yeah.
You go insane if you don't get that.
Can you imagine giving this advice to a woman?
Sex is important.
Ladies, don't have
both sexes.
Don't have a romantic relationship.
There's types of animal that die if they don't have sex. Remember that, people.
My God.
Okay, this is just.
If you have a low sex drive, go to a doctor.
Yeah.
Most people think
get a Swedish penis pump.
Is that what you call Swedish girls penis pumps?
It's Austin Powers, isn't it?
Austin
No,
Powers
it's fine,
reference. Yeah.
But
All right.
I'm
Let's
serious
get back to
here.
this video because this is just fucking.
This is important. This is really important. If
we need to hear his reasoning.
If you think you are asexual or something because you have a low libido, go to a doctor, because in almost all cases that's a health issue. Like some gland in your body isn't working, your hormones are out of whack, or you have a brain tumor. It's very often a brain tumor.
Oh shit!
I think it's not too late for this guy.
Yes, it's insane. So, fuck, go to a doctor. You think you're asexual? Go to a fucking doctor.
And if you're scared, motherfucker, go to church.
I'm not interested in sex, dude. What the fuck's wrong with you? Go see a doctor.
I just want this screenshot of his face going, bro, it's a brain tumor.
They do start out benign, but it's because I forgot which part it is, but they push on a certain part of the brain, and that lowers your libido.
It should be the thalamus or the hippocampus.
I'm asexual. Yeah, you've also only got 24 hours to live, so...
No! It's a bit longer than that, but go see a doctor for fuck's sake.
All right. Let's get back on track. Here's Fran Mataraki. Thank you for the donation. This dude needs to change his name to Strangelove, hop on an A-bomb, and get vaporized in his local Minecraft server.
How dare you speak that name onto this guy? No.
This doctor needs a doctor.
All right, so no sex, guys.
I think like even Dr. Strangelove has
you can't have sex here. You can't have sex in here. This is the whole house.
Not wanting sex is positive masculinity. What the fuck?
The human race is toxic.
Yeah, it wants to reproduce.
You must stop from having sex.
Babies are toxic.
Rabbits are toxic masculinity.
Dude, you just gave fuel for all the conspiracy theories. Fucking idiot.
Why not? Whether someone has only ever seen one person in his entire life, whether they are a demisexual who requires a intense emotional connection before they feel sexual desire.
What's a demisexual?
That is not demisexual. What? That is a nonsense term. That is what a healthy human being does.
Demisexual means a sexual orientation. Okay. Where people only experience sexual attraction to folks that they have close emotional connections. That's every person. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. All these sexualities, all these bullshit sexualities are the same as these bullshit genders, and they're just bullshit. They often describe perfectly normal human behavior.
People.
But we need to get on the rainbow flag.
People think I joke when I mention semi-bisexual. People honestly think I joke. This is how these people are.
They defined that. Yeah. That is on the list of nonsense.
Demisexual.
This is a basic,
like everyone else.
Basic understanding of tension and release, why you have these expectations for a person you're attracted to. It's largely psychological. I would say it's almost psychosomatic because there's a little bit of both. You need some empirical friction, let's say. But
nice.
Yeah.
Well, you need.
You know what is not natural? When you just have sex all the time and no emotional connection ever.
Hey, don't judge me, man.
That.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like I'm being like put in a spotlight here.
Yeah. Come on. Come on, man.
You just want to brag. Come on.
No.
So what?
Come on, man.
I only have sex to brag. I don't actually enjoy it.
No, what I mean, so as I said before, people need sex once in a while to stay sane. That's a different thing. When it really builds up so much, okay, we need to do this now.
So that's why you're saying these people are crazy. It's because they're not having sex.
Yeah, that's what.
Well,
maybe one thing. I've known a lot of SJWs who've been just orbiting their drone queen female and never getting any. But I always hope that they do if they just white knight more.
Right.
Drone queen that I can white knight for. What's her number?
But the other thing, the other thing is
01246.
The other thing is that many of these people are truly unable to form emotional bonds, and that comes with the narcissism. If you have if you have a narcissistic personality disorder, which is currently more widespread than before, it seems at least. These people have no empathy. They can't form emotional bonds. And that's why they make it a special thing when you need an emotional bond to have sex, because they can't comprehend this.
But
they can't comprehend emotional bonding.
So we can make a slight argument for males in their late teens and women in their 30s to late 30s that maybe you should, curb your sex drive just a touch. But whatever you think is healthy.
Stop being a whore.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a fucking whore.
There are stories of nymphomaniacs. This is a thing. It's not very well known because rare. That 5 times of sex a day is not enough for some of these people. So it's like, okay, there's therapy you go through and understanding and why your body's reacting this way and how you can control those urges. So fine, these are things
that is technically also natural. It's just anomalous, and you should get that checked out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the real gender dysphoria. It's a natural phenomenon. You just should get that checked out because it's.
If you are a nymphomaniac and you need to help with it, just call me on 079.
If you need help getting over your sex addiction, I can help you try and work it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
me at Sarcastic Hawk.
You can help me with my drug addiction. I'll help you with your sex addiction.
Oh boy,
that sounds like a contract.
Yeah.
Two mutual parasites just working off each other. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's called the codependent relationship.
It's a plan that cannot fail.
They are completely asexual and have no interest in sex at all. It doesn't make them any less of a man than the.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. You fucking loser. You weirdo. You're less of a man.
I've actually met a guy who was asexual. They have very low energy. They're very kind and very friendly, but they are just walking twice as slow as everyone else. Like they are less of a person physically
because they don't have the testosterone. They need more hormones.
Yeah. That sounds like testosterone insufficiency. Definitely get on hormone therapy for that in that case. And if your libido is dead, like that sounds, the world turns gray. Because that sexual energy, that tension, is something that doesn't just translate into sex. It really translates into, you channel that into everything that you love to do. It's not this Freudian way of things like everything is about sex. No, it's just this energy. This if we are up with the memes, it's a gorilla energy that
return to monkey basically.
Yeah, man.
With the pussy.
It's what makes you go into your hobby and make this perfect thing that you just adore, and it makes you hone your skills. That's where this energy comes from. If you don't have that energy, you're just a slumpy dude. Also, check out your thyroid hormones.
Yeah,
it's true. It's all true.
It's an energy that surrounds and binds us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will
binds
say
us
one thing.
together and makes new children.
I'll
this
bind
whole
you
segment.
I'll bind you with some shibari rope right now.
This whole segment perfectly means that all those articles make sense now.
Return to monkey.
All those articles you wrote make sense.
Ask Dr. NerdLove, how do I bang my girlfriend without her saying I need to stop crying and being pathetic?
Why
could it be that you're not attracted to your girlfriend because you're gay?
Yeah.
You're gay! I knew it!
Saw the video.
Also, why are all these dating advice things the worst dating advice ever?
Because anybody that gives dating advice that's not like just trying to tell you what they did is full of shit. And what they did may not be applicable to you. So
there are some actual.
My only dating advice is buy a girl a drink, talk to her.
My dating advice is be just the person I totally envision to be my perfect date, but I won't tell you what that is, so you have to do that yourself. And if you do that, I'm creeped out, and it will reject you.
If you want to know my dating advice, you have to subscribe to my Patreon. $10 a month for $150, I'll give you personal one-on-one advice about how to get the pussy boss. Contact me on my web zone, and I'll send you a pizza roll.
Join only
by the way,
now.
Capitalism sucks.
onlylosers.com/glib. where you can stop being a loser and be like me, the most handsome, virile man of all time.
There was a show I remember back on, I think, the Comedy Network in Canada, like 10 years ago. It was called Keys to the VIP. What they would do is they took two guys and they'd try to have all these games to pick up women in a bar or whatever. And it sounds as silly as it is, but there was one guy who was a dating coach. So he knew, like, he's been around women and had it with people. He was really friendly and sociable and whatever. So they gave him all these tests, and he was just scoring numbers like you would not believe. Like, it was magic. And I could understand some people are like this. They know how to interact in a club or in a bar where it's this sort of atmosphere. That's a different story than in general in life. So I get that. And plus, these are just numbers. These are not relationships. These are not giant conversations. These are like 2-minute interchanges at most. Sometimes
I got a girl's number one time by going, "Hey, you're gorgeous," and then she said, "You too," and I said, "Can I get your number?" And she gave me her number.
Yeah,
it's really easy.
That's not the same. Yeah,
and then Glib rang up and it went, "Hello, Papa Pie Pizzas. How can we help you?"
No, you know what happened? I gave her my number. She was gonna give me her number, but my phone was dead, so she never hit me up. So I just didn't have her number. That was fucking great.
And the only reason I remember that is because there's lots of funny code names on there, and one of my bosses was on the show. So,
some people meet up in the cafeteria of the university.
Yeah.
And that's the pub dating advice doesn't work there because it's a completely different situation.
Yeah.
You're probably more talking about your fields of study in that case. If you're nerds.
Oh god, yeah.
Because the nerd dating game, oh god, that's a completely different story.
Oh god,
nobody wants to date a fucking nerd like you guys. Chat, you loser. No, I'm just kidding. But it is really annoying when there are people that are like, my nerd identity defines how I'm going to be in my relationship. I hate that. It's so weird. You know what I mean?
What is
We're a nerd couple. I got the Rick costume and she got the Morty costume.
Oh god.
Oh.
That's not That's not what I mean.
You know what?
That's
creepy. I'm glad you two are together. It leaves less insane people for us.
I wanna play New Vegas by myself, not with my girlfriend. I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm fine with not sharing nerd stuff and being like.
Sorry, I was thinking more about the old. I'm old. Okay, I was more thinking about the classic definition of that. You have these two people interested in science and that shit, not in all this weird
you mean
fan
geeks.
crap.
You mean geeks, not nerds.
I think back in the day that was the same thing.
People who went to school, yeah.
Yeah, people who got people who got educated.
Intelligent sluts.
Biggest horn dog. But by that same token, sexual desire isn't necessarily toxic either. It's in the way that you express that desire. Barney Stinson is a classic example of toxic masculinity.
A gay guy playing a straight man. Being gay. Again, another
over the top.
Another fictional character.
Yeah.
Another fictional character
for a comedy show.
Yeah, in a scripted circumstance.
Yeah.
So he's potentially a stereotype.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
And he's a sitcom. It's a sitcom, so it has to be stereotypical.
So it's supposed to be funny anyway.
Oh my god, I'm imagining putting up fucking Charlie Harper from 2.5 Men. See, he's toxic. Yeah, it's just a sitcom.
Why not Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah. Darth Vader is a toxic masculinity.
But then we're talking about mental disorders and shit like that, and that has nothing to do with the sex.
Also, we're also insulting the disabled as well because, well,
he's still got an arm, I think,
until the end. Even that gets chopped off. He has one arm.
Still have an actual hand?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't actually. No.
That's why all this false stuff is so shit.
Vader jacks off with robot hands.
Mm-hmm. The manly way to do it.
All right, can we finish this fucking
let's just
video?
try
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Him is about conquest. It's about getting what he wants on his terms,
get what I want.
when he wants
That's
it,
right, bitch.
without any thought or regard for the feelings or emotions of the people he is sleeping with.
Suck my dick, whore.
Is that okay when women do it?
Say, Captain Jack Harkness from Doctor Who in Torchwood. Captain
No,
Jack
really?
is someone who...
he's not positive. That is not a positive
No,
character.
Another fictional character.
Yeah,
Whiskey.
and it's and Harkness is a manipulative slut.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He lies.
Yeah.
Holy shit, he lies.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit of virtue in Torchwood, which if you can bear to watch that. But in Doctor Who, he's just don't trust that guy.
Yeah.
He's horrible.
Yeah.
That's not
might be called omnisexual. If you're a sentient being who is capable of consent and has something approximating functioning genitalia, he's willing to give it a shot. And the key word here is consent. If it's something that you're into, he's willing to try it. Probably twice. If you're not into it, or for that matter, into him,
he wants
then
to stick his dick into anything
Sex
that
for
moves.
Captain Jack is never about his value as a man. It's about mutual pleasure and his connection with other beings. But interestingly, the one property that has done the most to explore various angles of positive masculinity is Marvel Studios.
Marvel Studios movies.
Wait, as one thing, it's probably a decade since I watched that show. If I remember correctly, Harkness is married, and he's flirting around with everything that moves.
Yeah,
that's hot.
Yeah.
How is that positive masculinity?
What a badass.
He also gives up his own grandchild to an evil alien race that will use kids as drugs.
Did he make a bunch of money off of it? Is he like an ANCAP? That'd be based.
No, he just got his gay lover killed.
That's even more based.
Because he fucked up and forgot about. Oh wait, I'm the only guy who can regenerate. The other guy can't.
Yeah, I base all of my
the worst examples he could have chosen.
I base everything I do off of that. Yeah.
I'm really surprised they used that example.
Shitty sci-fi show.
Is it just that you have the hots for this character?
Yes.
Yeah. My God, he is gay.
I really like these boys. I'm not gay though.
I don't like this straight guy. He's seen with all his women. This person's just fucking everything and mainly men. I can get into that.
All right, let's
keep going.
Blow this thing and go home.
I'm surprised too. But when you think about it, the character arc for many of the male characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is to grow past the stereotypes of toxic masculinity and to mature into better
What does that
individuals.
mean?
You see this with Peter Quill, Tony Stark, Rocket Raccoon, even Thor. They all had to grow and overcome the shallow, self-absorbed personas of who they were and grow into...
He's not even a man.
Okay, so what he means is... I think we're getting closer. What he means with toxic masculinity is immature people.
That makes sense. That basically is it. But why men? Because he's a man? He's like, I can talk about
probably. And we're not allowed to talk about toxic femininity, which is narcissism. And but he's essentially criticizing that in men. I think that's what it boils down to.
I hate the word toxic. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Toxic is such a toxic word spoken by toxic people about other toxic people. It's so toxic. We gotta drain the swamp.
It's the cooties game. It's a Nazi cooties with with Godwin's hammer on top. You say the word and then you are that and you can't redeem yourself.
Fucking got Nazi cooties. Ew.
Yeah, you can't touch the thing because then you have it too. Then you are the Nazi. You didn't choose this.
Well,
there it is.
Sluts.
Ugh, I wish.
Yeah, I think it's just talking about immature people.
I don't care about immature people. I'm talking about sluts.
Apparently he is for self-restraint. Apparently he's for self-restraint, so...
Yes.
Immature people don't have that.
I'm sure his girlfriend loves that.
Well, his girlfriend isn't gonna get happy because he's not interested in sex. Because he's apparently gay, probably.
All right. Settle down. You guys are being toxic right now.
Yes, good.
Let's move on.
Through it. Yeah.
And overdeveloped boys. The movies just tend to be a
Very
little on the nose with it. After all, Peter Quill has to confront his very literal daddy issues. Tony Stark, on the other hand,
he had to confront his dad
face to face with the consequences of his self-absorbed, big-swinging libertarian, dick capitalist
libertarian.
Wow.
Peter Quill didn't have daddy issues. He wanted his family.
Guys, get that bingo card out, because he just listed like 5 fucking spaces then.
What a gay boy.
Daddy issue? What the hell was that?
His big dick libertarian
very literal daddy issues. Tony Stark, on the other hand, has to come face to face with the consequences of his self-absorbed, big-swinging libertarian dick capitalist ideals, as well as dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and also dealing with his father issues. Thor gets metaphorically emasculated in Thor Ragnarok, has to reunite and reconcile with his estranged brother, and also deal with their mutual Okay, so writers at Marvel still have some issues that they're working through.
Wait. So what if you're not supposed to tell a story about a man who has dad issues? Are you supposed to say that the character isn't supposed to go through an arcing phase? That they're just supposed to start off a certain way and stay that way? That they're not supposed to learn anything? What is
that some of their flaws are sourced in those family issues? Because that's a completely normal thing, an everyday thing to be, sadly.
Also, daddy issues really is just about being able to fill the shoes of those who came before you. I mean, can you amount to being as, whatever it is, stable, stoic, whatever, as those that came before you? You're trying to meet an expectation? That's not toxic. That's how the cycle works. That's how society is improved and maintains itself.
It's like in the best interpretation possible, like that I can come up with, is when you're a little kid, your daddy is shouldering the weight of the world. He's shouldering the sky. He's Atlas, and at some point, you have to take over that weight. That's scary.
Yeah. And then the other thing about that is that
can you live up to
the
that?
The father is going to be the archetype for what a man is, and the mother is going to be an archetype for what the mother is from the beginning of a child's life. And so they're going to base their assumptions about other people of the same sex based on those archetypes. So good parenting is really important. And having dad issues means that you had something in your childhood or something in your development that did not fit, did not go right, something you wanted to change, or that you had an issue about, that you had trouble talking about, whatever it is. Those are conflicts within a character that makes a character interesting.
Yeah, something was too hard, something was too soft, something's missing.
What happened here?
Good parents, both of them, father and mother, they protect you in different ways, in different layers of your life.
In different ages.
That as well.
But in different phases.
Yeah, but there's a synergy there, and then there's an exchange between the two. And you see the role exchange between the two, and you see how these people interact with each other. And that is what makes single parenthood not impossible, but very hard, because this interaction is missing. Yeah, we need to fill 2 roles. Most people, sadly most people, and that's a completely human thing, so they fail at that because they don't know how to do the other role. And you're lacking this exchange, you're lacking this back and forth, and the child can't observe that. Furthermore, if one person fills out both roles, that can be a bit confusing, because am I going to be protected now, or am I going to be pushed into the adventure? What is it?
Now, from what I remember from
it can be hard.
Thor Ragnarok, I don't think he has daddy issues. He just loses his hammer. He loses his power. He riches to rags, and then he goes back up again after he has a revelation with the vision of his dad telling him how great he is.
His dad just wants him to grow up. That's the whole. You are a vain, ignorant, and cruel boy. You are an old man who sucks a lot of cocks, father. Like, he just needs to get over the fact that he's being a fucking a brat, and that's why he gets thrown back down for being unworthy. Loki is never worthy.
It's more that those issues had mostly been solved by Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, by then
but what we rather see in Endgame is was it Endgame? No, it was Ragnarok. I'm confused. It was Ragnarok.
I don't care. Thor is a stupid character.
Yeah, but that was more his him missing his mother. That was the problem for him.
So men still have daddy issues, huh? That's why you got into writing, because you got daddy issues.
Actually, yeah, it is. That is why I'm into writing, and that's why I do entertainment stuff, because I have issues with what I see as the status quo. This guy's like, oh my god, get over your fucking daddy issues. Stop writing characters with struggles they have to get over.
I wouldn't want you to be my father.
I wouldn't want you to be my mother either.
No spine in your own fucking story.
I meant the doctor.
The doctor? Okay.
Doctor.
PhD doctor. Okay. Delmaticus. I just got here a while ago, and this guy almost sounded normal. Then he nailed 5 spots on my bingo card in less than 10 minutes. It's a record.
Of course. That's how it goes.
Yes.
You can feel it in your bones, my friend.
The cinema behind for a moment and look at the Netflix shows, because one of the most interesting examples of positive masculinity in a Marvel property comes from Jessica Jones in the form of Malcolm.
I just realized he's doing the same thing with his neck that the previous guy we were doing. He's always slanting his neck.
Guys, sort your pillows out, because these neck aches you obviously haven't. You know,
they got neck problems, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
He looks at the camera weird as well. Like I can see that like he's not focusing on the camera itself, but like something next to it. It's bothering me for like the past 2 hours.
I just want him to shut up already. So let's finish this.
Glib, you paused the last bit.
Cost.
Well, I didn't do anything.
One of
I don't know what you're
Kilgrave's
talking
victims, and someone who has been violated in an incredibly traumatic way, very much like Jessica herself, or Will Simpson for that matter. But unlike Jessica, who alternates between shutting down emotionally and lashing out at the people around her, or Will Simpson, who attempts to reclaim his manhood and avenge his violation by being as violent as possible, Mal sets up a support group.
What?
And within the framework of the story, this makes sense. Mal is a skinny ex-junkie. He doesn't have superpowers. He doesn't have military training or access to dodgy Chinese knockoffs of the super soldier serum. He is just a guy
so again,
who's
just
been
a
through some
sidekick.
traumatic shit. But what he wants is to help people who've been through the same trauma that he has.
Okay.
While everyone else...
Okay, yeah.
So...
How is that an inherently masculine trait?
Does that mean becoming a doctor or a therapist is positive masculinity? Like what?
Isn't that more nurturing female thing?
Well, compared to Jessica Jones, who just punches people when she doesn't like them, so I don't know.
That's all women now.
Yeah.
All women are toxic males now.
All women are queens.
Toxic males.
Yeah, the problem is she's super strong, so she like crushes people's necks.
Mm-hmm.
A violent psychopath.
Mal is the one who wants to put everything behind him and work towards healing. And the best way for him to do that is to help other people heal as well. Mal is keenly aware of how horrifying it is to have your mind violated like that. Unlike Will, who takes this as a violation against his masculinity and attempts to bring it back through violence and occasional low-rent Captain America cosplay, Mal's way of reclaiming his manhood is through service to others. Mal freely...
Okay, guys, I don't know if you guys know the story, but we're talking about Kilgrave, who controls your mind, all right?
Yeah.
He manipulates you completely.
He made a guy put his hand into a blender.
All right, so it's
still like
pretty...
conversation with him.
It is raping your brain for as long
What is
as
this?
he likes. Jessica Jones.
Jessica
Jones. Yeah, so...
Lots
of people would be traumatic if they survived that. So they would have problems. They'd want to go to therapy.
Yeah.
That is not an example of a male exhibiting male goodness or whatever. This is a guy in pain trying to deal with it, and other people are like that. So he thought, okay, I may as well help other people in the process. It's not he's doing it from the goodness of his heart. It's I'm suffering. I could barely hold on. What the hell's up with my life? I can hang on to other people as well. Now, I'm sure there's some goodness as a result of that, but it's a perfectly logical series of events why these things happen. What he's trying to say is as if life sucks, do something hard so that you cry, and then make a therapy group, or I don't know, something like that.
Help other people who cry, yeah.
It's like, get your first love, loser, and then lament it for the rest of your life and go into therapy. I don't know.
Oof.
Yeah.
Acknowledges the danger that Kilgrave represents, but he also recognizes that revenge isn't going to make things better.
Why not?
Healing, compassion, and nurturing.
He's a victim. He had his mind controlled. He's a guy. He's just a normal guy. What is he going to do?
So basically, the positive masculinity is femininity.
I don't know.
Who's going to get revenge on? Who's going to get revenge on? Because Kilgrave gets killed by Jessica Jones, so who's the guy going to have revenge on?
He got his revenge. He's dead. The guy's dead.
Yeah, the guy's dead. What revenge is he out for?
Out for Revenge, starring Steven Seagal as Kilgrave's best friend Lopez.
Yeah.
Oh, Francis Ford Coppola, how's it going? Joss Whedon proved just how misogynistic the men who cries out how feminist and supportive they are of women really are. Guys never been in a fight. There's a few stories that just happened the past day or so with Joss. So
Boss Whedon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who is the actress again
No.
from Buffy? I can't. She was pregnant on set, and he was shaming her for being pregnant or something like that.
The redhead.
I don't remember her name.
I don't know. These women always complain after the shows are over.
20 years later, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Will is admittedly a theme that recurs regularly throughout the Marvel Netflix series. You don't get someone who is bigger about broy masculine posturing than the Punisher, but by the end of the first season,
he's
even
a faggot.
Frank Castle has to admit that he is broken by what he has gone through. Now,
positive masculinity is being a broken douchebag.
You need to be a pacifist. Sometimes violence can be necessary.
When you're killing Republicans,
the difference between positive and toxic masculinity is the reason and the use of violence. And yeah, we're going to have to talk about Captain America.
I defended you with violence.
It's significant that he's a soldier, but his symbol is the
shield. Normalization of violence.
Oh, his symbol's a shield! I never noticed that!
A war of defense and protection.
But the A refers to a Hebrew letter.
I just noticed why he's not condemning muscly guys as inherently toxic, because he himself is working out a bit, so he can't condemn that like other feminists do.
I was about to actually say, he seems pretty, looks like he works out.
I'm better than you because I set up a support group. I'm better than you. I'm a real man. You're not. You're a fake man.
Man, this way his beard looks like either there's blood or fire coming out, or fire, bloody snot. I don't know.
You should be a real man. You need to set up a therapy group. Well, whatever helps you sleep at night and makes you think you're a man. You do it.
I just noticed if you can verify or decline that. I don't know the English word. Is he having a nasal inflection in his voice? Because I think I keep hearing that.
No, that's just me.
No, that's.
Sorry, just wait.
There's because we had these other relatively weird hints about him being potentially gay, and this nasal inflection is another hint at that. That's a lot of gay men have a nasal inflection in their voice, and it's part cultural and part
up the ass.
Doing the powder stuff.
Okay,
because that burns it away. But another part is cultural adoption through rapport, because everybody speaks this nasal thing in the gay scene. So if you get into that, can be that you start adopting to speak like that, even though you never do drugs.
Oh, right.
Anyway,
yeah.
No, that is actually
So not everyone who has a nasal inflection is gay, but it's an indicator, in my experience.
Okay, here's Tyler Preston. Okay, so this douche nozzle is basically saying that the junkie is acting the appropriate way in response to being mind-graped. Screw this guy.
Mind-graped.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
This guy's whole thing is be a beta, and that's positive masculinity.
Yeah, be feminine.
Yeah,
be the sub
against what he said. Against what he said earlier, he says, "Oh, positive masculinity isn't being more feminine," and he's just gone on to say, "Be a."
That's totally being more
be feminine. Yeah.
Get beaten up.
That's all right, but that's your thing.
Haggle
that out with your partner and it's all right, but you don't need to preach to others to be like you.
Francis Board Coppola, thanks again. Netflix ruined Punisher. Did it?
Yeah, they did. Punisher fucking sucks.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, but that prison corridor fight.
I don't know. I only watched the Travolta movie, so that's
it went through the meat grinder.
You only watched the Thomas Jane movie.
Conquest. He's the bulwark against oppression, the man who throws his body in the way of danger in order to preserve life and liberty of others.
He also throws the shield into your teeth.
Isn't his symbol the flag and the star, not the shield? The shield's just a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus the A on his skull, but that's because he's a golem. So
he himself is a golem.
He's a Jewish golem.
Oh God!
Oy
Stop
vey.
it.
Superman was created by the Jews. Did you know that? This guy named Stevie.
God.
He used to go to my temple back in the day. It's the terrible. It's just terrible. We need to protect ourselves from these big terrible men. Watching about this masculinity is a good thing.
Someone has to explain to me. Did SJWs or neo-Nazis come up with that? Because I can't tell.
With which?
With the Captain America is a Jewish golem.
Oh, because the A stands for Aleph in the Jewish language?
Indistinguishable from neo-Nazis. Indistinguishable.
That's horseshoe theory. It's horseshoe theory, yeah. You see on Poll or whatever, they'll be like, fuck Cape shit. That's all Jews created it. And then the SJWs are like, hey, did you know that the Jews created it? Virtue signaling. The Jews, which went through the Holocaust, 6 million died. And I cared about every one of them. Never let it happen again.
Can you name all of them?
I can name every single Hebrew that ever existed.
And their numbers.
It's very tiresome to have people constantly thinking that saying the right thing according to what they believe in is somehow doing something to improve society.
At the end of the day, everyone should remember that Jehovah begins with an I. So
everybody convert to Mormonism. That's how you get it.
Nobody cares about the 6
Mormon
million
Jesus.
Slavs. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit about anything.
No one cares about the millions of Cambodians, or the millions of Vietnamese, or the millions of Chinese, or the billions of Tibetans, or the
400,000 people that went missing. 400,000 people went missing in 2019. Where nobody cares about them.
Really? Yeah, no one cares. Or the 100,000 kids that go missing each year. No one gives a shit.
Trafficking people is certainly easier when you have a mask on.
There you go.
In fact, unlike other superheroes I could name, we see Cap prioritizing the safety of civilians who've gotten caught in the crossfire.
Oh my God,
that's interestingly enough,
heroic.
Invite comparisons to another hero whose cinematic climax involves the use of a shield. Now, the point of all of this is that there is no one way to be a man, especially a positive example of masculinity. Being a man isn't in your body, it's not in your face,
it isn't?
And it's not in your...
You just said it was.
It's not. You're being a man has nothing to do with your genitals and what you are, then it doesn't mean anything.
He was saying that he expanded the definition to include physical and mental and emotional and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, you were describing it. Now you're saying no?
And why do you call Wonder Woman a woman?
It's Wonder Man.
I don't. What is this? Did he just contradict everything he said? What is he doing?
He contradicted himself about halfway through the video, Smud. He's just been contradicting more things.
He expanded definition to be so broad that you could include this or that. And we're like, okay, a secondary character, maybe, sure. Now he's saying, oh yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Like, what?
Yeah, because this guy doesn't actually have a fucking clue. He's just saying fucking word salads to try and trick people into
It's a double bind.
He's
a definition I make so big that I'm surely catching you too somehow in this big dragnet, and then I can tell you how to be a super virtuous person. By the way, here's socialism. We need to redistribute all the wealth.
Brocialism.
Yeah,
but brocialism might actually work. Yeah. I don't know. It has Brocialism has a Thunderdome. Come on, we need a Thunderdome.
We need Tina Turner. Yeah, that's what we need.
Genitalia in your heart and in your head.
So that's in your body. That's in your body then.
You are. It's about being your truest, most authentic.
Oh God, you have to be yourself. Okay, that's what it means to be a man.
It's in your heart.
Your truest, most authentic self is the very thing all this social justice ideology is against. Absolutely against. We talked about this earlier. Women aren't allowed to be women when they have female, standard, natural female aspirations. Same goes for men. Isn't allowed. No matter how you hear Mr. Dr. NerdLove try to present it. It's not allowed. Be your truest self. All this social justice agenda is about is making up fan fiction about yourself that is complete bonkers and there's no basis in reality. It denies science, it denies fact, it denies nature, the basics of it. It's just complete. We have mythology that is more rooted in reality than this bullshit. I'm sick of it. And you are just trying to make it sound palpable. While, sorry for the things you say, the social justice mob, technically, if it's consistent in any way, should be at your doorstep trying to lynch you. Because you're completely talking against the narrative now. You're talking against the dogma, while also trying to talk for it. Where does this guy stand on this whole ideological stuff? Maybe he's confused about it? Maybe he's on the stage where it's all doublethink? Where he's beyond the cognitive dissonance. He doesn't notice that he's contradicting himself. This may just be doublethink at this point. I mean, we're a few more years in. All these people that were confused, they had troubles with this stuff. They're now so long and so deep in this ideology that they just marry reality and this shit together and believe opposite things at the same time. I'm just baffled.
I don't think he's actually espousing any SJW or left-leaning philosophy. I just think I don't know what he's trying to say exactly.
That's the point. I think this is the next stage.
No. I wouldn't go that far. I think he's just sort of confused because he has that mystique that I am the doctor geek guy and I'm going to help you with relationships with the geek outlook. And you're like, fine, okay. But he doesn't know how to connect the two in a logical manner that makes sense. Like I could probably use Marvel films and say this is an example of a healthy male behavior because he's heroic and he's saving people, but that's outside of being a male. It's part of being a leading role model for your team or your character or whatever. So I would not have the sexual angle with it. I would just have character who is doing things for the good of the community or the good of the team. I think this angle with dating is whatever, it just is not working in this context. So I don't think it ever will, though.
No, he doesn't come across as malicious. Like Jesse Gender, I think he's confused about what he's actually talking about.
Yes,
because it just doesn't fit together.
He suffers from dipshititis.
Like, if he was a feminist, then he'd have much more feminist-leaning concepts that might make more sense within the context of being a toxic male or whatever. But because he's seeing it from a health perspective, he's like, I want to help people. I want them to be happy. And you're like, okay, what he's saying isn't inherently wrong to be a good person, but that's nothing to do with being a male.
Yeah, it depends on the level of ideological possession for simplest term. They're not all that extreme. They're not all the Jonathan McIntosh or Ryan Johnsons or whatever. I think this is the surface level where you could still get back to sanity.
I think I could.
That could also be the case.
I could have.
So it's either complete doublethink, or it's just at the surface level where we could realize, wait, there's stuff, this other stuff I want to be, or that I was taught is good stuff or bad stuff that doesn't make sense if I think about it, if I listen to myself.
This reminds me, you mentioned before about Jessie Jenner. It reminds me of Jessie Jenner trying to define the term. What are those terms she was using? And we sat there like, Jessie, that's not right. And she just goes on and on. Like he's trying to make some sort of video on the topic for the sake of it and filling up space. I'm like, okay, that's not really accurate. You're not really helping people.
But the more he talks, the more he contradicts whatever point he's already said.
Babble, 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 babble.
Yeah.
Self,
in the hopes that it gets
a positive
somewhere.
influence on the world around you, no matter how you do it. Hey.
Oh, okay
thanks
then.
for
No
checking
matter
out
how
the
you do it.
latest
Okay then.
All right. Blah. All right, guys. I hope you learned about what it doesn't mean to be a male. Because
what is positive masculinity?
I have no idea. Courage.
Just do something.
Be an
however you want
adult.
to do it, because
Courage.
that's
Be your
it.
authentic self and care for people. Be empathetic.
yeah,
So essentially, read Jordan Peterson.
there's a good one. That's a good idea in general.
Thanks, Dr. NerdLove. You told us to read Jordan Peterson. Great.
Who actually gives you rules of what to do and how to do them. Yeah.
Everybody buy a pet lobster.
Link in the description. No, I don't have it.
I find it funny that he has a video called "How Pop Culture Ruins Romance."
Strawman?
What?
Or romance?
Romance.
Oh.
Oh, romance. I thought you could say how it's destroyed Strawman. I was like,
that would be something, yeah.
Oh no!
Attack
no.
the straw man.
I'd say you can make the argument.
Yeah.
All right, it's 10 minutes to 8. I want some bourbon. I gotta take a break. Thank you guys for coming in. That was good exercise.
I'm running out of whiskey.
Oh, you can never. You got to get your collection going. You got to take your time. Got to build up over the years. And
I'm not gonna drink the good stuff for this shit.
Oh, you got to drink the good stuff. You can't let it sit there.
You got to drink something.
That's why you only buy the good stuff. Why would you buy the bad stuff?
There's not much good stuff you can order here.
Really?
And I can't get out.
Germany doesn't have good liquor?
The good whiskey shop is closed down. I don't know if the guy who ran it moved back to Reading or died. I have no idea.
Whiskey
The shop was just gone.
is the same
Sad.
price, essentially, depending on region. But like if you want to buy whiskey in Vancouver or Toronto, it's pretty much the same price. So I don't know how it is in Germany, but there must be more access to the better stuff.
Yeah, you can get all the basic bullshit from the supermarket, but
really, oh, good.
There was a real whiskey shop, and the guy was really awesome. And the best whiskey I ever bought there was a Ben Nevis from '92, and I went through 6 whiskeys. He went through 8, until I found that. Was just that was a moment, man.
Yeah,
that was a moment.
I know the feeling. Well, anyway,
and I shared that bottle with the worst of people.
Well, the good stuff. Only get the good stuff. Same with stocks. Same with food. Same with drinks. Just keep getting the good stuff. Don't buy the crap. Go through life cook the right meals. Sleep on the good soft pillows or the hard pillows, whatever works for your neck. Don't skimp. Anyway,
the stuff that's the basic stuffs. Invest in them.
Exactly,
because that's where life is.
There you go. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for keeping us company. That was well, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't crazy weird. It was just strange. My bingo card's not filled up. I only have about 3 filled in, but I just kept circling the toxic masculinity section over and over again. It keeps going on and on. So he mentioned that one thing about capitalism and Tony Stark and everything's political. I was like, all right, that's as far as it went, but just rambling in general, I think, was as far as it went for the topic. So, have a great night. Thanks, guys.
Doctor.
Thanks, Glib. Thank you, Mark. That's a nice little change of icon there. I always appreciate the alterations of people changing up their visual, what they think in their heads and what they show on the screen. It's always good.
You're welcome.
Hawk is Hawk, as always. And Wisp, thank you, as always.
Hooray.
Always great.
Yeah, I'm trying. Maybe I stop talking over other people at some point.
You did great.
Everybody stop doing that.
You're doing fine. No, he was good this day. He was fine.
You do great.
I just fuck up the timing. I'm learning.
You're great. You're doing good. All right. Well, thank you and good night. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk to you real soon.